want to make you happy. So, Mike.
I believe was it you or was it Garrett that said I'm the Eeyore of,
that was
of
Garrett.
Encounter Roleplay?
that was
Garrett.
Yeah.
And that was the fucking funniest thing I've heard that entire week.
It's
Like,
okay, he said,
the Eeyore of D&D, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, you know what? That's me right there.
It's like, well played.
All right.
I'll wear that moniker.
I'm gonna mail you a tail, just in an envelope.
I was sticking to the door back here that you guys could.
So,
Thanks for inviting me, guys. I'm just glad to be here.
Glad to be
so Mike, who are you, and who are you playing tonight?
I am Mike. You guys see me here every Monday. You know who I am. And if you don't know who I am, click that link and go to my thing. And I am playing Hextus Crown. I am a clever jack who works the back alleys, ladies. And I am the resident information gatherer and broker here on Calram.
Yes, indeed. Next, I'm going to go to myself, because fuck any kind of order. Let's just I'm the best. I want to speak now.
Crisscross applesauce, right?
Yeah,
Whatever.
right.
Whatever.
And I also haven't spoken for 10 seconds, so I need to. So, my name is Will. I run this show here from time to time, by which I mean 5 nights a week. And I tonight am playing Seto Yashuan, the samurai warrior who's turned into a robot. So now I'm playing a robot samurai warrior who's obsessed with the Dragon Emperor and not trusting machines, even though he is one. So that's who I am. Court, what about you?
Hello, I'm Mythematic. I stream on twitch.tv/Mythematic. A lot of roleplay stuff as well as tabletop roleplay here on Encounter Roleplay. I play Delamere, the fat, globby nano who works miracles. And he's got these weird... What is this? Weird packages. But so mail just showed up. What the hell is it?
I mean, I'm sure that he did.
You're like a pneumatic tube, or what? How did the mail
Yeah, how did that reach you?
Yep.
The mail is here. Cord likes to laugh. He's role
That's
playing.
how everything is in the States, guys. You know that? It's all pneumatic tubes.
Really? Wow.
It's like Futurama, the whole country.
Speaking of pneumatic tubes, Josh, what's up? Go with it. Segue it. Pretend it's a segue.
I have no words to follow up with that. That's okay. Cool.
Hello, who are you?
That's Josh. The end. Next.
And Josh, I'm playing Maximus Coro. He's a mad nano who employs magnetism. His entire upper half of his body, everything north of his waist, is made entirely of metal that he manipulates via magnetism. He's no idea how it happened, other than he was hit in a massive fuckery storm of the grey, the Iron Wind. Yes. And yeah, he's just here to chill, enjoy life, and eat all the food. Now he lives here.
Yeah, sounds
Good
good.
one. I dig the high def. I like the upgrade there on the camera, Josh. You're coming in pretty, and you're coming in with a pretty nice shirt, if I must say.
Really, I mean, this old thing. Just go for the stretch. Yeah, no.
No one mentioned Will's shirt. Just Josh.
Indeed.
Is that what my face looks like all the time, Will?
Yeah, I was doing your impression.
Frankly, we're just glad that Will's wearing a shirt and not just like a robe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be thankful, because later on, there's no guarantees.
The pipe and slippers.
So, Mitch, we should do a catch-up of previous sessions and where we are currently in the story.
Yeah, so diving in, for those in chat who are not familiar with the Numenera game system, it's a game by Monty Cook Games, and it's kind of a sci-fi fantasy mashup is the basic premise. So here's our refrigerator pitch, water cooler pitch would be...
No, refrigerator, because it comes to life.
We'll go with refrigerator.
That's what happens.
So Numenera is set on Earth, but it's set like a bajillion years in the future, where there have been 8 cycles of human civilization that have risen and fallen. And so you've got a world that's roughly at year 1000 within their development. So they're kind of in their like early medieval period. So it seems very similar to a fantasy game. You've got lords and ladies and taverns and quests and monsters, mostly kind of feudal agrarian culture. But the world is also littered and entirely filled with a whole lot of sci-fi shit that's just super weird. So you've got devices and machines and artifacts and huge constructions from previous iterations of human civilization that got way more advanced in tech that people don't really understand. Some people think it's magic. There's weird weather phenomena, mountains that float, tons of weird shit like that. So it's a cool kind of mashup. This season of this campaign has taken place mostly in a place called Calram, which is a giant space whale, I think is the best way to define it. It's roughly the size of, what do we say, the largest island in Hawaii?
About 25 elephants.
Yeah, okay. Fucking huge, this massive space whale that's orbiting Earth. Seems to be like semi-hollow inside and functions like a spaceship. For the Calramites, whom no one has really met or knows who they are, this ship has been orbiting Earth for so long that there's small villages of people who've been transported there accidentally, like our party, over the last several hundred years. So there are little villages of folks, some of whom were even born on Calram, like Hextus, Mike's character. So essentially the sort of arcing goal of the party is they got accidentally teleported here at the end of last season in the finale. The Amber Monolith snapped in half and sort of set people teleported in various directions. They ended up getting caught, in a way, by this whale that intercepted them while it was orbiting through around Earth, and now they just want to get back to planet Earth. Now, there's been some developments as far as what we know about Calram, as far as the sort of bigger story, et cetera, et cetera. But let's do a little bit of last session recap, because I know, Josh, you weren't there. So at the beginning of last session, you guys had just arrived in one of the largest villages of these accidental settlers on this spacecraft of sorts. The leader of which was Elder Kim Turi, who definitely wasn't Tim Curry. At least by my estimation of the impression, wasn't even close. So we arrived at this village. Tim Curry offered you a choice. He said there is a way to get back to Earth. You've got two options. And then I think you guys had a little bit more discussion, and then you had an eventful evening in this village of the latter. So let's toss it to, I guess, Will first to do a bit of recap. What more did you guys learn from Kim Turi? What was this choice he offered you as far as your way to get back to her?
So Kim was like, yo guys, why don't you either do this? Option A was we go to the platform? I forgot the name of the place.
Yeah, the View.
The View,
which is where, so it's like the bridge of the ship.
So we either go there and we go with Mozak down, or we go and speak to the Calramites, who are these like people who are like locked up in pods or something. No one knows where they are or who they really are. Thanks, Brandflows. So we were like, okay, we're probably going to go and find the Calramites. And then that night, strange mist started to enter into chambers. And Seto woke up first, and I kind of started breaking my way out. And then Delamere woke up, he broke out. I managed to get Hextus out as well, as this like mist started to fill the dark corridors, and all the power in the station had gone off. And then gravity started going completely, and so we were like lifted up into the air. We managed to make our way back down, and there was this strange plant form, which was seemingly behind this mist. We didn't really know. We didn't get too much out of it, I don't think. And so we saw this woman at the end of the corridor who just like suddenly appeared, and she's one of the women that we spoke to previously. On a side note, I met the husband of the girl, Naomi's husband, whose name was Bradford, yes. And Naomi is a girl back from Earth, and she assumed her husband was dead in Series 1, but it turns out he's actually alive and well on Calram, which kind of sucks for Seto. But nonetheless, we saw this woman down the end of the corridor. She seemed like kind of weird and zombified, maybe. We started following her out. She led us out into the kind of courtyard, and then we went into Kim Turi's abode. Mike, do you remember what we did there? Passing the ball of story fun.
Yeah. Well, you guys did one thing, and Hexus did one other thing, which was steal a bunch of shit and make an informed decision not to murder Josh's character, Maximus. After not murdering another player, he also joined you guys in Kim Turi's house, where I believe he's not dead, but he's like paralyzed and like trapped in his own brain. He's telepathic now.
So the idea was there was this sleeping gas that some of the sort of machine entities, Mozak, for those in chat who don't know, Mozak is this like infectious AI that's starting to infect all the machine parts on the ship and trying to like build a sufficient transmitter to get off because the AI is like trapped on Calram. Mozak put everyone to sleep, I guess, with this sleeping gas throughout the village, through the ventilation system, but added a little bit more to the cocktail for the elder who was in charge, because the elder was keeping these artifacts from.
Yeah, he was keeping some kind of artifact that was like would be like a transporter or something like that. I forget what the hell you called it.
Yeah, so no one's really done a thorough assessment
Transponder?
of the elder. I think transponder.
Transmitter? Transmitter.
The translator.
Sure.
Let's project Google Translate.
Transporter.
Google Translate. Yeah, and then I think
But yeah, so he's pretty paralyzed.
I think Seto went into a fugue state where he started speaking to the Dragon Emperor.
Yeah.
And then I touched him with my Pokeballs, and I went into the fugue state.
Hello.
And then the Dragon Emperor came out, and he gave us all new balls. And then Myth became gross again.
Yeah. His wish was to go back to his normal self. Which was that guy behind me.
And yeah, so Myth, I guess we'll pass to you. So what was the final confrontation with Mozik? Because it was with Mozik in the private storage quarters of Kim Turi. You got attacked by a ton of these creatures, but then acted in a funky way, and the fight kind of turned tides pretty quickly.
Yes. So you guys were talking to this like elder god, or the dragon god, and while Delamere remembered that you can't trust the machines, and these things were they knocked you out or something, Seto?
Well, they kind of did for a moment. Yeah, I was in like
and then so like, well,
state.
at least to Delamere, he thinks that was like a hostile move. So he's like, oh shit! So he grabbed, I think he buried his like 8-inch claw talons into the donger-sized talons into the transponder, and then like whipped it at one of the Mossics, and then they started to like swarm onto him. You guys broke out of your weird trance to save to like do like this 300 slow-mo like tear through them with like beautiful music happening like symphony choral music and
basically a John Woo movie.
Yeah, and then I think like this bloody pulpy heap of Delamere, the best in his final form, was on the ground, and
Third evolution.
he just kind of like rises as kind of like in the MIB movie when the guy's like, you know how much that stings, and then, like his head grows back, kind of like that. He stands up and he's like, ah, and his wounds start to heal. The blood starts to like seep back into his body, and because that is one of his powers, that every time something attacks him near him, he gains hit points. So or takes damage near him, he gains hit points. So yeah, we fucked up some of the Mossics, and that may be bad for us later.
Yeah, and at the very end,
I'm a guy for conflict.
At the very end, there were two Bradfords. One was Machine Bradford and one was real. We found out who the Machine one is and killed him, and then we took real Bradford.
As a method.
Yeah.
And do you remember how?
As a team. Come on, guys.
But do you remember how you found out which was the Bradford and maybe what the consequence was?
We stuck a fist inside his stomach. That was afterwards, though.
Yes. That's what I did. I touched him. I was like, all right, here, and I like slapped his face or told him to shut up. And then I was like waiting for him to mutate, and nothing happened. So, and then I turned around and then just buried my fleshy claws into his robotic belly and pulled out wires. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the avoiding the funky part, because you touched both of them to see.
Yeah.
The human one would mutate, and the sort of synth robot one would not mutate. So yeah, Bradford now has scales all over his body, +2 armor, pretty sweet. If he was an adventurer, he's not really, so he's mostly just kind of upset about it.
He could be an adventurer like us.
Yeah. His scales get stuck to cashmere now. It's just annoying to do his dry service.
He gets pulls and everything. It's just
absolute nightmare.
Terrible. Yeah. And he blames you. So if I've ever seen a nemesis, this is it.
Exactly. So before we begin tonight's session proper, because we've just done a recap there, I'll remind you guys ways that you can interact with our show. Of course, if you haven't followed, it's the best way to keep up with all of our shows. We're here 5 nights a week, 9 shows every single week. We've got a 24-hour stream every single month coming up fairly soon. So if you haven't followed, hit that follow button and join us. And of course, if you haven't retweeted, we're already at 10 retweets like 5 minutes ago. So go and have a look at where we are now. At 25, you guys get to decide anything which happens in our game. We're already at 13, blimey. And in fact, we hit 3,400 last night, Mitch. So you know what that means. We have one today. We have a viewer decision today. So every 100 followers, we let you guys drop a straw poll for your ideas as to what happens next in our game, and then whatever is voted the most popular actually happens. So I'm looking forward to that. When Mitch finds an appropriate moment to enter the viewer decision, then we will have that. And of course, you can donate to affect our game. You can give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, all sorts of crazy hijinks. So if you have a bit of spare loot in your coffers, then you can send it our way to affect our game. And other than that, I think we're all set to get going then, chaps.
Yeah, so I'm going to give a little bit of something to Josh. So Josh, where your character was, Maximus, over the course of last session, because when you guys all went to get cleared for, attendance with the Elder, you went into those like pods to be assessed. Nothing really assessed you, or the machines kind of went fucky because it was like putting a piece of metal in a microwave, because it's this sort of MRI-ish thing, and your upper half is metal. So the doctor, Matt Doss, had asked for you to come back to do some more like slower manual tests. So that's when we sort of put you in stasis for last session. You were in the lab. And then when Hextus went in to check the lab, when everything sort of went black and there was this weird mist, he saw that you were sort of fine in one of these tubes and it was running tests and you were kind of asleep. And Matt Doss was nowhere to be seen. So you sort of came out of stasis after all of this happened. We'll say you can sort of walk out into the courtyard, having had this catch up. You see the party as they're dealing with the two Bradfords, and then get back into the mix. So we'll skip forward a little bit. One thing you do get, Josh, you get an Arcadian mote, which is essentially a Dragon Ball. Actually, you get two of them. You get one Arcadian mote that is essentially just a cipher, but you can like meditate on it for like a minute and a half to like put any effect into it. So it's like an empty cipher, if that makes sense, and you can like think what you'd like it to be, of course within the sort of reasonable parameters of how powerful ciphers are. And if it's too wild and ridiculous, then I'll say you drop it, it breaks you. But you also get a second Arcadian mote, and this was from the chat intervention that the Dragon Emperor Shenron arrives. And thanks, TigerLore88 for the follow. Thank you for joining the adventure. You are a gentleman or woman and scholar. It's good to have you in the show. So Josh, you've got two balls, I hope. You got two of these Dragon Balls. One of them is empty. You can like think a cipher into it. The other one was a gift. It's green and it has a little dragon flying around inside of it. This was a gift from the Dragon Emperor Shenron.
It was a gift.
And this second one actually will grant one wish, within reason, we'll say, but it grants a wish. So you've got these two things to deal with. We'll say that you guys have discussed.
More Dragon Balls.
The plan also caught you up, I guess, Maximus, that the plan is to go with the Calramites rather than with Mozik. I know, Josh, you and I spoke a bit like out of character before last session. And you said, like, Maximus, give the little spiel, like explain why Maximus would also want to wake up the Calramites rather than go with this AI for help.
Yeah. So there was, I was trying to remember it, and I remembered it was literally as I was walking into, I was sat in the coffee shop walking into the cinema, and you were like, why would Maximus maybe not be trusting of ours? And he saw a lot of Y2K movies. I mean, that's it. At the end of the day, like, he saw Terminator, he saw even through to Genesis, like he stuck with it even through to Genesis, even despite how the series petered out. And AIs are bad. Artificial intelligence is just a bad idea. The Matrix, everything is just, no, why would you want to do that? And he's tried explaining that, but he can only remember like random abstract quotes. You know, those really over-quoted lines from films. That's all he can remember, but he can't really tell you what the plot is. So basically, he's trying to like explain to you, like, AI will be the downfall of mankind, but all he's got to go with that is like, I'll be back, right? Yeah. And no one knows what that means.
I'm a cop, you idiot. Yeah.
I'm a cop. My name's John Garner.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, the party's decided to go and wake up the Calramites, who are the locals whose ship this is. No one's ever seen one before. Mike, his character Hextus, grew up on Calram. Has heard rumors of folks who maybe found some of these papers No one knows what their purpose was. All the party knows is that there is a serious cataclysmic event coming to Earth within the next few weeks that's going to require them to get to the choppa, Crimson Phoenix, absolutely. This cataclysmic event is coming to Earth. The party wants to get there to try and stop it in some way they can. Elder Tim Curry did suggest that his assumption, based on everything that he's understood about the Calramites, is that they wanted to show up in time for that event, not after the event. So that's why they're here already. So waking them up is a slight risk. Could be some hot sclusies. They at least know why they wanted to show up, but who knows why they'd want to show up to Earth before the end of times, so to speak. This is, of course, the end of times that ended the previous 8 worlds. So some like big stuff that's totally not canon, but within our world is going to be canon as far as the 9 worlds of Numenera. So, hot sclusies dealt with. You guys are going to depart to find the Calramites to wake them up. You've been told by Ubrick, who Hextus, you'll know, you've worked with before. He sort of was with the party as an escort. The big guy with the pugil sticks, sharp end, squishy end, you can never tell which one. He's not going to go with you. The state of the village is kind of a little hectic because Kim Turi is a complete vegetable. So there's a lot that he has to do. He gives you guys like a bag of ramshackle supplies. He says, I got as much as I could out of the chambers, out of the elders' chambers. And he sort of gives Hextus a little talk through of the best ways that he knows to get to the chamber that Tim Curry says you'll find some of these Calramites sleeping.
Well, I believe before, I think the very last note we ended on last session, after dealing with Bradford and Bredford, was that we went back into Kim Turi's house, and Hextus said, yeah, guys, I know where the Calramites are.
Yes, you did.
Cool. So yeah, you know the chamber, and that is in fact the chamber. So that's confirmed to be the one that Tim Curry knew about, the same one you saw with your roving eye. But again, your roving eye only showed you how to get there through like the pipes and stuff. So what Ubrick gives you to supplement that is he gives you 2 actual paths that could get there. Now they're not paths that you've ever used because they're pretty dangerous. They're not exactly, a straight shot through a sidewalk. But they're the 2 ways that he knows to get down into this sort of closed off lower level where you have access to these chambers. So you've got 2 routes that I'll talk to you about in a second, but I need some D100 rolls from everybody. Ubrick thrusts you a bag of supplies. It's as much as he could muster. Apart from a ton of food pastes, you guys each get a little trinket.
Food paste. Say it again.
Trinket.
All dead food paste.
66.
It's just like bacon flavored toothpaste. That's all it is. It's just
That does not
All right, so
sound
call your
good.
rolls set till you get 66.
66 for me.
25.
27.
19.
All right, so we'll start with 19, the lowest one. Maximus,
Hey Superman, what's up, man?
Maximus, you get a small metal box, which makes sense because you're metal, you can move metal. We'll say it's like sealed shut, so no one's been able to open it before. And you sort of play with it for a second, and even you can't open it, even with your moving metal, like something weird is keeping that thing shut. But we'll say somebody walks by with a torch because all the lights are still out, and the minute there's smoke nearby, like the box opens up, and there's like a mirror inside, and that's about it. So a small metal box that's like perfectly locked shut. Even you can't open it, so valuable to store something really important. But the way to open it is to put smoke over it.
Can I take a moment right here, to go back here, and to thank Justin Decerus for pledging $50 on Patreon. Thank you so much, Justin. That's incredible, my friend. Thank you so much. You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. Can we give Justin there a Patreon fist bump? Thanks so much, my friend. That's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
That's
That was
awesome,
a
dude.
good fist bump, everybody. Good job.
That was a good job. Yeah, we
It
know
was
that.
all
actually.
timed. We're
Yeah.
this much closer to
Yeah.
the synchronized swim team at the Olympics.
Yes.
Let's get some ERP
We should do it.
shores.
The ERP swim team.
Oh my god, yeah.
Cool. So
I just
that
came up
is
on the screen. That did look pretty good. I just saw that. That was real good.
We look really good.
all right.
And
So
we look
Josh,
great.
Guys,
Josh,
we're...
Jesus Christ, guys.
Sorry.
I know we look great, but there's cool stuff that I can give you. Josh, that's your oddity. The lock box that can only open with smoke. Moving on to Delamere.
Yes.
25. It's fucking super weird. These are canon. These are from Sir Arthur's Technology Compendium, which is a cool supplement you can buy for Numenera. Delamere, you get a wedge of glass that when you hold up to the light actually depicts like a scene on loop. And it shows 3 children playing. We'll say they're doing like a ring around the rosy, and there's one frightened child staring at you. So let's say there's 3 kids doing a ring around the rosy, and in the middle is one kid just like really afraid looking at you.
Looking at
when
you.
when you put it away from the light, then it's just glass again.
Nothing out of the ordinary for Delamere. Children terrified. Children playing, but one of them's scared of me. It's normal.
Hextus, you get a small bottle of ink that seems empty to you, like you shake it and there's nothing really there, and then you dip your finger in it and your finger's covered in ink. So you have an endless bottle of ink, never runs out, never goes dry, can't be drained, washed. When you dip something into the bottle, you've got ink to write with.
Seems good.
Feels good, man. And Seto, last but not least, 66.
I like the idea you just knock it over one day and we all drown in the room. Just
Shatter it.
Seto, you get a glass cube that's always cold.
Glass cube that's always cold.
It's your icebox.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's an ice cube. It's just a really good
Yeah,
one.
just a
It's
glass.
like a new attachment that you can like stick onto your.
Yeah. I dig it. I dig it.
Put the cube in my chest.
Cool. All right, so you guys have your oddities. You've got your food paste, and Ubrick pulls out a big sort of sheet of parchment. We'll say he dips his finger in Hextus's ink because he will know the things that he grabbed. Hello.
Ecstasy, you alright with that, man?
I'm not okay with it. I think it was invasive.
It was an invasive attack on your ink.
I was like looking at him like, oh, what's this? He's like, doing stuff.
And his thumb made a pop noise because you got these giant sausage fingers. Yeah. Cool. So he starts drawing out a little map on where you guys are going to have to go. The 2 options you have for getting the Calramites. There's a drainage duct that you could try and make your way through. There's no guarantee that it's going to be empty of fluid, and the fluid is some type of biological fluid. It's not just water. It's some type of body fluid of some kind. They don't really know which, because the villagers here only have a little bit of a sense of how this whale works. So you've got this drainage channel that you can make your way down that's sort of very narrow, very long. Or the second route is kind of a vertical route where you've got to climb down something of a cooling vent or like a ventilation shaft that definitely has like synchronized fan blades that are like pumping cool air. And there's like coolant jets that will spray every once in a while to keep the blades cool. And they don't really have any way that, Ubrick doesn't know any way to shut those off, as it were, and there's like 6 of them in a line. So you can choose like the horizontal route through the drainage canal, or you can take the vertical route, which will bring you to like the same kind of area that you're trying to get to before heading into the chamber with the Calramites.
So basically, we have like dodging giant blades or some sort of bodily fluid.
Yeah, Ubrick's never been to either of these locations. This is sort of scavenged from Elder Kim Turi's notes. I'll say, Hextus, roll me an intelligence task, difficulty of 5, relating to like knowing the area. I'll say you can have an automatic asset because you're from here and you've been on these scouting parties, so it'll take it down to a 4 to start.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll spend 1 effort for that guy.
Cool.
Let's
So,
see Mike's
down
terrible
to
rolls coming in
3.
again.
Let's see. Let's start off the night with the bang, guys.
Oh,
There it
there
is.
we are.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Standard tradition. There it is.
Cool. So as much as Ubrick knows. You've never been to either of these paths, nor have you heard anything about them from any other folks that you know.
Sure.
Sure.
Cool. So that's your first choice for tonight before we
Yeah,
kick off.
I say, well, I have never had any problems before with dodging blades.
Well, if they're made of metal, I could probably do something to slow them down somewhat, and it could be easy. Then again, I mean, I can swim, and then actually, I am entirely made of metal. I'd probably drown.
Me
Then again,
too.
I don't even know if you can drown.
I look down at my metal body. I am also in my ancestor's form right now, so I don't know if any kind of fluid would be good. And I open up my like cooling rack inside me, and it's like I've got all these like little fluids and stuff in there. Other than these fluids, of course. And I like chunk, chunk, chunk.
Yeah, I mean, two of you don't need to breathe, though, so that's interesting.
I like to imagine Seto's actual inner core is kind of like like the innards of a fly, which is just sloshing blood and a heart that squirts blood around. So, but it's like just like oil. Like that's what a fly's body is.
You basically
I
described
imagine it
Delamere as well there.
I imagine that Seto is like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, that it's just completely hollow the whole way through.
Blood is
Like a
spewing.
suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's had like the squishy boots for days as he's been draining like biological
Draining his
body.
fluids out.
I say Delamere is mostly fluid.
I don't think we should go with the blade thing. Those are machines, and we shouldn't trust them.
True.
I can hear it, Delamere.
That is very true. The Dragon Emperor is most concerned with the machines.
Mostly Delamere.
If the Dragon Emperor, if the one that you nailed it, absolutely nailed that.
Thank you.
If the dragon man is worried about the machines, then maybe it'd be a good idea if his chosen champion went and dealt with the machines.
That is very true. I do intend to face the machines for the Dragon Emperor. Now, Hextus, you are a man. Tell me, what do you think?
He looks at you confused, like if that was the question. You are a man.
We've had two players simultaneously turn into robots, so valid question.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I also don't like blades. They're real dangerous and sharp.
They get everywhere.
I especially don't like when they're inside me. Like the last time we had a guy with a blade went right through me. Not a fan of it. In general, I would say.
It's kind of like me and coffee. Goes right through me.
I say we go with the blades.
Okay, well, I'm glad we took everyone's.
I'm glad we're all voting. Yeah.
What do you say? Wait, let me commune with the Dragon Emperor. Oh, he says this. No. So I say the blades, because fluid is harder to dodge than a sword coming at you.
But what if you can't dodge it? I'm not a very quick guy.
Listen, if they're made of metal, I can do something about them.
Exactly.
If they're not made of metal, then they'll probably break really easily, and that's fine.
Oh shit, where did you come from? Well, okay, yeah, we got him.
Oh, hello, Maximus.
Oh, well, holy shit.
I
Welcome
also-
back.
Did I miss anything?
A lot.
Okay.
The basic message is that you do not trust the machines. That's last week's recap for you.
You didn't have any like dreams about fire or anything,
But a fire?
right?
No.
Okay,
I don't
just
hear
checking.
any.
Just was a curiosity.
That's depressing.
Sometimes I dream of fire.
So as you guys are like coming to the consensus, sort of going with the mechanical routes down the vertical ventilation shaft, Bradford is going to like peep his head into the chamber. He's all kind of scaly still. He's got like a hood pulled up now because he's like really embarrassed that all of his skin is now scales.
Right, we've been there.
He's going to look over and sort of try and get Seto's attention. Seto.
Yes, Bradford. What is it?
You'll still take me with you to see Naomi.
Have I said otherwise?
Who is Lizard Boy, and why does he know Naomi?
This is Bradford. He is the husband of Naomi. We thought he was dead, but he is not. He is
No,
here.
I mean, if I looked like that, I wish I was dead. But it's great to see you, mate.
Bradford, this would be an appropriate time to bow. This is Maximus. Maximus, this is
I
Bradford.
like take your hand in like a metal hand and then violently. I'm sorry. It's good to meet you. Yeah. Naomi told us all about you and about you were dead, and she was she mentioned you. She was, she was with Seto at the time, but like not like.
He saved her.
I walk away.
I'm gonna fuck this up.
No, I can't.
I'm the worst wingman. I say, yes, I will be taking you with me, Bradford. Do not fear. Although, if you die, I cannot take responsibility for your death. I mean, Naomi already assumes that you're dead.
Seto, I've got an idea.
Because I
We
told
need
her.
to go up high to get to the fans, right? How about he helps us scale the walls? And then I'm like up top.
I look. I like machine turn over to look at Bradford. Fuck, I am doing it out of character now. And I say, do you have any climbing abilities? This could be useful.
I go to high five Maximus, but instead I slap him in the face.
Maximus is fine with that. Maximus doesn't care about
The old excuse.
Bradford, he'll kind of like shrug and just say, I'll risk anything to get back to Naomi.
Good. Now then, blades or fluids? I vote blades. Maximus votes blades. Delamere?
Fluid, but I don't think it matters. I think we're gonna go blades anyway.
Yeah, I also don't like blades. I can swim better than I can get stabbed.
Okay, well, if there's a 2 and 2, if we're stuck, we'll say Bradford sides with Seto and says he would rather opt for the blades. Seto's the only one who's really interacted
Yes, I win D&D.
with. As cool as you all look, Seto is like a 7-foot like robo samurai at this point, so Bradford's a little more
He's pretty
intimidating.
hot.
And he already inherently doesn't trust Delamere because of what happened to his skin. So more reason to side with Seto.
True.
Damn it, Delamere.
Then it is decided. We go to the Blades of Doom. Which is the way? Hextus, you are a man who knows where things are.
Yeah, since you've been shown the map by Ubrick.
This just become a common thing. Just Hextus, you are a man. Like as if you need to reassure.
But every time it's like, it's Hextus, you are a man. Slight pause. Who does thing.
It's like every time it's like he's giving you a chance to fess up.
Yeah.
Just waiting for him to like pull his face off, and there's just a robot underneath. Yeah.
It's like boop beep boop. It's like the end of Dune. Spoilers, sorry guys.
Spoilers, yeah.
You didn't see a movie that's 50 years old.
You got me.
Yeah, so he
Trigger.
did Ulrich give us the copy of the map? I assume that's what he did.
Yeah, I mean, he sort of sketched
Giant
it, in his
stuff.
parchment, rolled it up, so you got like a.
No, he showed it in front of your face for 2 seconds
like-
and ran away. Fuck
He like
you.
stole my ink and then showed it and like left. Like Zoidberg out on the screen.
Basically,
Yeah.
Ubrick state of being.
Let us go. With
Yeah,
no
I think
haste.
I can get us back there. Probably.
You will do this. Good.
Okay.
I put on
Anything
robot
else that anyone
smile.
wants to do in the ladder, the village, before venturing back out into Calram? Now's your chance. Otherwise, I'm going to say you're heading there.
I rob a buffet. Like I probably try and find a buffet and realize that's not.
It's all you can eat, so you actually were just a customer at the buffet.
You actually just end up.
Oh, what a deal! Never mind, I'll just buy it.
You know what? This is beddling for me.
Oh, mate.
Take my money.
Here, take this. Take my shiz.
Yeah, you can find some food. No worries.
Yeah, cool. And then I'm just gonna come to the party. Maximus discovers it hasn't really come up yet that he can't eat and he becomes slightly depressed.
He doesn't swallow. He just mushes it in his mouth, and it slowly falls out.
Just a bunch of gears. Just like,
There's a delicious.
he's literally a garbage disposal.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else from anyone in the village before you head back out into the wild?
Nah, he's going straight out. Is
Good to go. All right, so you guys head back roughly the same route that you take for the first portion when you were first heading to the village in the first place. So if you'll remember, there was the large sort of spine that ran down the center of this creature that's used sort of as the central artery or highway for the villagers that move back and forth. In the center of it, there's this really deep chasm that actually has the spine of this creature. And attached to that is all the sort of mechanical coils that sort of run the energy and keep the power on, as it were. So on the left or right of this chasm, you've got this sort of narrow channel that runs for a really long distance, several miles back and forth. So you're making your way back in the same direction before ducking into another road. You come to the very same sort of like jut where, along the wall there were sort of series of tubes. It was the internet was to your
the internet was happening in Calramites.
There's a big drainage pipe that you guys hid in at one point and used to scoot while the mantle was flopping around. But before that, when you fought the mechanical dogs, the machine eaters, you had came to a point where the sort of wall to your left with the chasm to your right sort of came out to a point. So you had to like skirt pretty close to the edge to get around it. And that's where you fought the machine eaters. You guys see, as you're going around that, the little like wall section mount that was sort of sticking out looks very, very different from the last time you were here, which was only about a day and a half ago. And when I say very different, I mean there is now depicted on this wall that sort of curves around, made up of a series of metallic bits and machine scraps, what roughly looks like the four of you in various death poses. So Seto, in the center, you see this, stocky, tall, mechanical, robotic creature. And again, this is all made of like machine parts. And it's holding its head in its lap. Maximus, you see a figure sort of cleaved in half. The top half is like mostly large sort of sheets and smooth pieces of metal, whereas the bottom half, there's a bunch of like mosses and things that have been spread around on top of it. Delamere, you see a figure that sort of reminds you of Mr. Fancy Pants. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the adventure, my friend. You're a gentleman or woman named Scholar. It's good to have you here as we play some Numenera. Delamere, you
good. I almost had to go Google who the hell.
Yeah, I was like, Mr. Fancy Pants. Okay.
getting better at that transition. You see like a figure that looks like the old Delamere, and his hands are at his own neck, and there's just a bunch of wires wrapped around to like emulate your tentacles having strangled you. And Hextus, you see what's something in the Seto sculpture's hand, which is just like a pipe, similar to, I guess, what his sword would be. And there's like a body that's just been impaled on it. And it's actually a body, like a human body, of one of the dissenters. So the kind of like reavers that like roam around, crazy wild people. So there's a body of a reaver that's been impaled on Seto's sword. So how do you guys feel about this sculpture?
So Hexus sees the sculpture and looks around at everybody, and then everybody's sculpture, and he goes, "Wow, looks like you guys die all horribly. That's terrible. And but you killed a dissenter though, so that's neat."
Yes, one of the rebel scum, no doubt, that the Emperor sent us out to kill.
He said that. They eat the blood, remember? Oh, you didn't hear about that. So yeah, I guess you can't drink. Don't put the blood inside you.
Don't blend the blood.
Phrasing.
I don't know why I would do that, but thank you.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it either, but they like eat it, I think, and then they get crazy and kill people, and I think they eat other people. I don't really...
What is this sculpture on? I'm sorry?
Yeah, so it's on the wall. So as you guys come to the point where you have to like walk around this wall that juts out.
It's like weird mural.
All these weird this weird kind of mural of metallic figures and some body parts that have just been like spiked into the wall that you have to walk past.
I sort of look it up and down and say, that's just antisocial. That's graffitiing all over the wall. Someone should do something about that.
They know we're coming. These Maziks.
Have we been here before? I do not remember this. Unless this is one of my ancestors.
But I feel, and I like slap my tentacle to my temple. I feel as if they are leading us down some sort of trail. They know where we're coming from and where we're going. I don't trust this mural, not one bit.
Mendiva, it seems very strange.
It is actually made of machine parts, so maybe that's why.
We do not trust the machines.
Exactly. Let's keep moving. Don't look anymore. Stop looking, Hextus. Stop it.
Is there a way to destroy this monument? With your...
What's it made of?
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's metal, then you can probably fuck it up.
Yeah, just scraps of shit, yeah. It's literally just spiked into the wall, so.
Cool, in which case, I'm just gonna say I spend a moment, So I'll like nod to everyone. I'm like, you know, this is something we want done. So I stand there and I'm going to try and like rip the giant sort of samurai figure off the wall and just drop it off the chasm, and then like that'll take the body and then just like pull the rest of it down and just tip it over the edge.
Cool. Give me an intelligence difficulty task. So this is sort of like your push ability. But an intelligence, the difficulty is going to be 5 to rip this down. So you can burn intelligence points if you like, because it's not really an attack. It's similar to trying to like move a door or move something physically, but you're moving it with your mind.
Cool.
I move things with my mind.
Right. I will spend some intellect to knock that down. By the way, I guess I'm back on full points.
Yep. Yeah, you were resting in.
Same goes for us, or I don't know if I've taken anything actually.
If you guys took any points, probably not, just because that was the course of most of the evening, and then you sort of struck it right away.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna knock this down to a 3 with some intellect, because I want to look out for my buddies, and I rip it down.
Cool. You can take an XP because that's going to have a big morale boost on the folks, not having to look at that shit as they walk around.
I'm just like, fuck the government.
Yeah, we're like anarchists.
Tear down society. It's just graffiti on a wall.
It's like that one time me and James took down a party political poster. Fuck 'em.
Whoa.
Edgy as fuck.
And then you folded it and placed it on.
Yeah, I placed it down and then returned to sender. Yeah.
Cool, sounds good. So you guys can move your way around, and it won't affect your morale nearly as much, having had Maximus like tear this monument off the wall as you continue moving on.
I look pleased by this. If a robot samurai could look pleased, he would look like Seto does right now.
It's in the eyes.
They're like a slightly like softer color. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Slightly softer metal.
Yeah. Turns to an aluminium.
Little twinkle in his eye.
A single tear of machine
A
juice.
single bit of lubricant.
Machine juice.
Right, guys? Just me?
So
Right?
machine. Great.
All the words in the language. Machine juice was the words you chose.
I'm a wordsmith. What can I say?
We see this horrible. There's now like machine juice written on the wall, and we move past the machine juice and we move on with
Don't trust the machine juice.
we're like
Machines are one thing, but their juices are just awful.
we're like drinking it from straws. Oh.
This seems like a decent time. Ghost of Christmas Future said, you hear screaming down in the chasm as you throw this monument down. Maybe not that, but when you throw this big thing down the chasm, we're going to pull, a Mines of Moria here. Huge clanging, ding, 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 as you throw this heap of metal down into a chasm and it bounces around as it plummets very far. So let's throw in the viewer decision for tonight from hitting 3,400 followers. So throw up in chat below that line any idea you have for what comes and attacks the party, or sorry, just what happens to the party. What happens to the party that was like spurned or awoken from this noise? So they just made a whole bunch of noise. So that's like, those are the arcs there for what this viewer decision will be. This whole bunch of noise causes some kind of reaction in Calram. It can be a weird monster, alien creature. It can be more machines. It can be some type of mechanical or biological response of the ship itself that's like freaking out because something was just thrown on its spine. Whatever you guys like. Let's do the viewer decision. While we're doing that, while you're throwing in your votes, Josh, you've got 2 globes. Not going to make you decide on the wish globe yet, but your cipher globe. I guess we'll say as you guys walked from the village to where you are now, what effect would you like to imbue into your Arcadian moat?
I'm going to say. I'm going to just because this isn't. Is this a full? This is a full-blown cipher.
Yep.
He's got full-blown ciphers.
Yeah, no. Like if it was like an oddity, I would just be like, it's a magical 8-ball, and you can just give me cryptic bullshit as response to my answers as I shake it. But if it's the cipher, it's sort of a one use.
Hashtag Josh things.
Yeah. So I guess. Oh, I don't know. I kind of. I tell you what. It's so what it is.
So many words.
I don't know. I wasn't prepared for you to ask me now. I'm like, it's. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing right now. Give me like.
Cool, no worries. So yeah, how it'll work is you sort of like you put a thought into it. It'll change from being like a bluish color to like a yellow, and then that yellow, then you activate it just like you'd activate a cipher, and that's a one-time use. And the orb just sort of disappears. Is how they function.
Okay.
Well, we're almost at the hour mark. While we're waiting for these votes for the decision, let's do little hooks and plugs here.
A couple of plugs, couple of hooks. So if you guys are new and you're enjoying the show and you're enjoying getting this viewer decision, then hit that follow button and join us. It's the best way to keep up with all of our shows. We have 5 nights a week of shows, 9 shows every single week, around 130. I'm aiming for about 150 hours of shows every single month. This month I think we're almost gonna reach 150. Hopefully, I might stream an extra few hours just so I can say it. And I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a website. You can check out our articles on women in gaming. We've got a three-part series that just came out last night, and they're doing really well and seem to be gaining a lot of good responses from you guys. So check that out if you haven't already, and follow us if you don't. As of course, follow Mythomatic. Myth, what do you stream?
I stream right now. I'm streaming Ark Roleplay, but in the summer, Conan Exiles is coming out, and I'll be streaming that. So yeah, I do a lot of roleplay as well over at my channel, but through video games, telling stories through the character's eyes, which is a lot of fun to watch and also a lot of fun to be a part of. So yeah, check it out.
Nice. And Mike, you do streaming as well, right?
I do streaming. I do the same thing you guys do, just worse. So if you guys want to see that, go to my channel. You can watch it.
Oh,
nailed it. What a plug.
What a plug.
Right?
What a hook.
We're the shittier, more American version of Encounter Roleplay. Go watch us.
More American.
If you guys are looking for a D&D game, one thing we're super proud to have is every Thursdays we do open D&D games, viewer games, where you folks can come in. It's sort of a West March style game. If you're not sure what that means, it's basically like a rotating cast every week. So there's a sort of central world that Will runs and GMs, and each week there's like a one-shot adventure, you know, the quest board in the tavern or something that sort of sends the party out. So it's like an out and back sort of one-off session that you can hop in. No experience required. If you've never played D&D, that's okay. We love helping new folks dive their feet in and try D&D. So hit !play to find out the details about that. All that's on the website too, how to get in contact, how to sign up for one of those games. Lots of good stuff. So let's get a straw poll here. We've got quite a few ideas.
Yeah.
And then now you guys will be able to vote on which one of these ideas you like the best. Hey,
yeah, there they are.
There you go. So chat, guys, go ahead and vote on your favorite, and we'll see exactly what happens next. It's some pretty good ones here. Super Lion Larry that shoots lasers. The machine begins to leak biological fluid into the room, threatening to drown the players. The doors are jammed and the room is filling up with milky biological ship fluid. Vader appears and offers them some machine juice of cookies. Gigantic tapeworm-like parasites living in the spaceship whale come out to devour everything in the bowels of the ship. The sculpture becomes animated and seeks vengeance. Half machine, half mutant comes out of nowhere. 2 options: fight or go down the trash chute. The statue is smashed into the ship's holodeck. The holodeck creates 2d10 evil Lincolns that start hunting the party. Wow, we got some variety there, guys. Go ahead and vote and see which one you like the most, and we'll have another one of these.
Like that, I was gonna say that's very vague. Like, are they Abraham Lincolns?
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely taking cars.
Yeah. We're gonna have another one at 3,500 followers. We're gonna have another one we hit 25 retweets, and of course we have one more patron on Patreon. So let's get let's get this going. So I guess we'll carry on for a little bit whilst we get the votes in, Mitch.
Yeah, no worries. So it sounds like we're going to need a room, if nothing else. So you guys head along. So before you get to your shaft, the drainage, sorry, not the drainage. You're not doing the drainage channel. You're doing the ventilation shaft. Before you get to the ventilation shaft, you guys will come to a small hallway. This was on the map. This is one of those areas, Hextus, that since the ship has been doing a bunch of weird, like opening and closing of doors, since weird stuff has been teleporting in unexpectedly to places it doesn't usually show up. This is one of those hallways you've never been down because it's usually sealed. It's usually closed, not accessible. You've got to head down this hallway, literally just going to the end of the hall before making your next couple turns to get to this ventilation shaft. This hallway, though, Seto, is filled with the leathery vines that you first encountered when you teleported into Calram. So you're looking down this hallway, maybe 60 feet down. The walls, most of the ceiling, and the entire floor is covered in like arm-thick vegetation, like these vines. And the minute you guys sort of walk towards this chamber, you start hearing that they're like writhing or like flexing in some way. They're definitely able to move like visibly, but like really, really, really slow. You just hear this kind of like tightening as your presence like walks up to this hallway. But this is the hallway you've got to go down.
I will go first.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said it, because, I wasn't gonna.
I'll go right after first.
I'll go last, like as close to not going as I can go.
I turn to Hexus and I say, "You're a brave man. They usually kill the person in the back first." Give him a thumbs up.
I'll go. Not wait.
That's it. You're done.
You're done, son.
Yeah, he's gonna say that, and even Bradford will like thank you as he like steps in front of you because now Bradford's not last.
And then Hexter pulls out the dope ass gun.
From like
I turn to Hexus and I'm like, even the non-player characters are going before you. You know you're dead. Like that's it.
And even the NPCs.
You open Seto and pull out a record and hand it to him.
All right, so Seto, you step forward.
First. Yeah.
Cool. The vines don't do much initially. Like they definitely are kind of like moving, tightening in a way, but they don't immediately like jump on you in any sort of sense. Because you're at the front, though, give me a perception task, visual, difficulty 3 as a base.
Sure. I am skilled in this because I took it as a thing. Perception visual. So it's going to be 2. Let's see down here. 2. Nailed it. 19. Fuck yeah.
Cool. So you get some extra exclusives there, a little baby crit. So
Baby
initially,
exclusives.
what you see, apart from the baby exclusives, is you see that there are bits of metal like protruding that aren't covered in these vines. So you'll see like a door handle or like a pipe that's sort of moving through that the vines just didn't totally envelop. So you've got these weird handholds all the way down this hallway, like bits of the ship that are protruding out from this sort of mat of vines. You also notice there's a vent about halfway through up in the ceiling, a vent that's got some kind of grate or covering on top of it. And you see that these vines came from the direction that you came in some way. There's like a little vent behind you, kind of close to the ground, about a foot up, and they seem to have grown out of there. So once you get to the end of this hallway, like there shouldn't be vents through that door, if that makes sense.
Okay. I turn to Delamere and I say, what are these vines? I've never seen anything like them before.
Well, let me roll.
Does Hexus know anything about these vines?
He just starts rolling around on the floor.
Yeah, Hexus and or Delamere can make an intelligence-based task. Hexus, for you, it's like recall or memory, whereas Delamere, I imagine it's more of like a medical or biological sample.
Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
I'm saying for you, it's going to be just a 3 to recall something, but getting it right isn't going to be as detailed as if Delamere succeeds. Delamere, your difficulty is going to be 4 as a base.
Rolled a 13.
Nailed it.
Cool,
I never more.
Stuck at roll 20.
Hexus, you
I'm winning
remember
now.
you remember like some stories of some other, scouts, other folks in the villages going out scavenging that have encountered vines that are definitely alive in some way. No one was like hurt by them. There's like no toxin or anything like that. Granted, the story that someone just like passed by them and they seemed to be waking up and then just fucked off because they were waking up. So you're not really too sure. You do know of them. They're like a common thing. This isn't unique to this particular space. Delamere, describe how you take your little sample in a sec with you.
Also, Mitch, I think this straw poll has probably come to its
Cool, I'll check what we're
boat
dealing
here
with.
on number 2. So
Yeah.
if you want to call it, then we can call it there.
Yeah, okay, we'll call that. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. We'll have another straw poll very shortly, guys. Fear not.
Yeah, I was hoping for Vader.
So,
all good.
Mitch, you asked Delamere.
Yeah, so Cord, describe how Delamere takes his sample, and then I'll give you your results.
These are biological vine-looking things.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't carry much. He's got a sack of shins, and that's it. And then he, which is the money, not a sack of tibias. But he takes a. I brought these for stuff. So one of his tentacles becomes very rigid on his finger, and he just slices like a big hunk of just this gross vine stuff, and then he starts to like peel it open and like and start to really inspect it, smell it, taste it. He actually eats a bunch of it at some point.
Cool. So we'll say on a 19, baby crit, not only do you realize that, yes, this is definitely like an animated vine, it's carnivorous, so it does like hunt and eat tissue. It doesn't photosynthesize as other plants do, which would make sense because it's stuck indoors right now, so that'd be pretty difficult. So it's a carnivorous kind of vine, and you know for sure that it doesn't have any toxin involved. You get the sense that it's kind of like it eats on things that have died and just decompose on it, if that makes sense. Because it doesn't seem to have any other way. There's no thorns. There's no other way for it to decompose or digest. No, there's no thorns. There's no acid. When you like taste the fluid inside of it, that's not toxic. So it's like if something were to die on it, then it would be able to like consume the body over months as it decomposed. So very slow kind of growth.
All right, I'm trying to figure out how like to role play out finding that stuff out.
Like there's like a vine that leads like from one end of the room to the other, and as you're walking along, you just down the line, you're just chewing. You're just like, yeah, it's definitely. Between the mouthfuls, we just get like, carnivorous. No photosynthesis.
Yeah. So like I cut it and I'm like chewing it and like trying to think of it, and I'm like letting my eyes wander, and then I look over and I see like there's like the skeletal hand that like coming out of like a cluster of these vines, and like there's some flesh still around the fingers, but around sort of like the where it's being held by the vine, I could start to see that there's a more like skeletal remains and discoloration, and I could start to, and then I inspect that. I like kind of put down the massive flesh vines that I've found, but I go over towards that, and I actually, where I find most of the sound, and start doing my deduction from inspecting the hand, the skeletal hand.
Cool. As you're inspecting the skeletal hand, and as Seto steps forward and does his like digital scan of what is around, what's seeing these little pipes and things protruding, these vines like very slowly start to like wrap over your feet, Seto and Delamere.
It's around my feet. Can I like try and stomp them down?
Yeah. At this point, it's super easy, but yeah.
Yeah, I stomp them down. Doesn't seem too difficult.
I'm gonna probably
carry on.
Slice one with one of the blades. And
Oh boy. It's starting to grab us. I think we should better start moving. Also, these things apparently when you die, whenever that is, when your body decomposes, on or around them, they start to take your energy and vitality. So try not to be held too far and too much, because you will probably die of starvation.
We'll say, as you say that, one of the vines is like coming behind you and like lands on your shoulder and starts trying to tuck under your armpit. And you guys now have to quickly get through this channel as these vines are starting to wake up in a much bigger way.
I start going at a much quicker pace when that starts happening. I'm just like heading off fairly quickly. Come on, hurry up! I appear to be getting.
Trying. I'm kind of held here. Oh boy.
Somebody cut Delamere out. I start like pressing onwards.
I'm too fat to reach that vine. So
Too fat to do stuff.
ah, shit.
Hexus takes like a step back and looks at these guys being attacked by vines, and then like turns to like look back the way they came.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, he rethinks it, slings his rifle. Slings his dope ass gun.
There you go.
He ejects the arm blade he has, and the wrist blade, and he pulls out a dagger and just runs through all these vines as fast as he can.
Cool. So mostly sprinting through. We'll say that Bradford helps you out, Delaney, and like pulls the vine out from sort of around your torso. And you guys can all make a sprint. So I need a speed task, only a difficulty 2, to get halfway through this hallway. And this is more balance oriented. So if you got any kind of balance,
balance! I'm trained in balance. Hell yeah!
This is to like not trip over shit and like fall face first into the vines that want to swallow.
Girl, yes.
I would like to do. I'm not
What
going
is
to
speed?
Speed difficulty 2.
2. Yeah, I'm still gonna fail that bit.
Alright, just click A then, man.
Is this a speed defense? Or
No.
just speed?
No, just speed related, and it's balance or acrobatics based. If you got any training in balance,
We're doing straight up speed, man.
Can I lie to them?
Yeah.
you can absolutely say whatever you like while you're making the balance check.
What's the difficulty?
2.
2? Okay.
Can I lie to him?
Nailed it,
Wow,
dead on.
yes.
Rolling a 6. Mike rolls actually D6s, not D20s when he's playing Numenera.
Yeah. Yep. I have a -10 to all my rolls, guys.
Mhm.
I don't know what
Sounds
happens.
good. The fact that you're still alive is miraculous.
I don't know how he's still here, honestly.
It's sheer luck at this point.
The gods will it to be. All right, so you guys get about halfway through before the vines really start waking up in a bigger way. So now we've got some options. You get to the halfway point, they've almost completely like furled behind you, so you wouldn't really want to go back that way. You can still sort of see through some holes, but you'd have to hack and slash your way back as they've kind of closed off behind you. So you're at the halfway point of this hallway. There's a ventilation shaft above you, and there's a bunch of these handholds that can help. But the vines are sort of stopped trying to grab you for right now, and they've started building this like barricade behind you. So you've got a split second to choose whether you're going to keep sprinting, whether you want to try to go for the vent. I guess, yeah, between those two or anything else you guys can come up with your ciphers, etc.
I guess because I'm in the lead, I just jump up to the vents because that was our plan before. And I'm not looking behind me at this thing that they're making, so I'm just jumping straight up to a ventilation shaft.
What
Cool.
is
Go ahead.
floor?
Jeff.
Huh?
Say again, sorry.
What is the floor made of? Underneath the vines.
You
It's
can't
not
see it, but further ahead, if you look, like you're in kind of a metallic, like manufactured hallway. Same with the door on the end.
Right. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and there's like a pathway, or there isn't a pathway, but we're running towards like the handholds. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and punch the floor with my big ass Hellboy metal arm, and I'm going to try and use the magnetism. Hopefully, if this is a metal floor, I'm going to try and rip like a path, like rip the tiles up to basically give like us something like a clear space to run across and clear some of these vines out of the way. Because
How will there be a clear space if there is no floor left?
I'm hoping it's just going to be like something underneath the floor. If not, this is just what I do. Like, this is like a quick thing, and
Sure. So you just you slam your fist down to test the magnetism to see if there's something you can pull up, because like there's almost a foot's worth of vines covering the floor, so you need to pull up in a big way to like clear over that.
no.
So that's what you spend your turn. You slam your fist down. Seto jumps to pull this ventilation thing open. It seems kind of just like a duct. And it's 100% too small for Seto, but the weight of you grabs it and cracks it open so the others could get in. What do Hextus and Delamere do?
So Seto is like holding onto this thing and pulling it down.
Yeah, Seto cracked open this duct that you could climb into, or you could keep sprinting. Again,
And Maximus is now crouched, punching the ground.
and he's muttering something about being back as he's trying to manipulate.
Perfect. Hexus is going to jump off of Maximus and scramble up Seto into this hole.
Okay, sounds good. Give me a speed task. Difficulty is only going to be a 2. And this is climbing, and I'll give you balance as well if you've got it.
Nice.
Good to go. All right, so on an 18, that's like extra good, so you can just like scamper up. The other two don't notice. Doesn't affect what they're doing in any way. Delamere, what's your one action before these vines?
He's gonna do the exact same thing. He saw that happen, but he's gonna jump on Maximus and hope he can carry his weight.
And hope you can also fit in this tiny hole.
Yeah, he probably can.
It's gonna be close.
This massive mutant
But
man.
it's good thing I'm covered in.
You're an
lubricant.
oily dude.
I'm
You come
covered in.
pre-lubed, you're fine.
Yep. Pretty lubey guy. So what is the speed?
Big guy.
Yeah, speed 2.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool. So describe the least graceful run, jump, grab, and then like hoist up into a ventilation.
Yeah. When I'm like in the air, the tentacles become rigid, and I just claw like a cat would, like on a curtain, and I'm just like, "Ah!" And I try to like Wolverine climb my way up.
Cool. So Maximus, you can take an XP. The floor doesn't have any kind of tiling you'd be able to rip up, and it's way too thick for you to do any kind of manipulation strong enough to actually tear that through what is also this like interweave of arm thick vines, a foot thick. So take an XP, but that's a dud.
Cool. All right. In which case, I am going to. What's this vent made of?
Yeah, it seems like a metallic, like it's more of a duct, really. Like it's,
Yeah, I say it's too big for me.
Cool. Fuck it. I'm not leaving Seto behind. Then I turn to Seto and I'm just like cut us a path to the doorway, and then I'll like slam the vent shut,
Nice.
and just be like, "Go! We'll make our own way." And then
draw my sword.
I want to basically
I come back out. All right. Yeah.
Oh.
like you like poke your face down. You're like, okay, I just slam the vent in your face.
right as you slam it shut, Bradford goes,
Do you need my help?
because now Bradford's got to run with you because you just slammed the vent shut.
Oh shit! I forgot he was even here.
I grab Bradford. You're coming with me, and I start running with the NPC.
In which case, what I want to do is basically like, I imagine like it's gonna like try and entangle Seto. I want to stand behind him and use the magnetism I have to push him forward, basically to just give him like extra drive so he can carve a path.
Cool. So I'll tell you what, I was going to have Seto roll at a higher difficulty because he's trudging along with Bradford, but we'll say that's compensated for by the extra oomph that he gets from behind him.
Teamwork.
That
But
extra-
otherwise,
Still fail.
you guys are both going to need to make might-related tasks. This is just straight might to move through here. Mini sort of version of some kind of a skill challenge adapted for Numenera a little bit. You've got to succeed on 3 of these. There's no number of failures that it's not succeed on 3 before you fail 3. You can fail as many as you like, but every time you fail, the difficulty gets harder. And the minute you fail just one of them by more than 10, then you've lost the skill challenge and someone's going to have to help you, which are a serious tangle. So you need 3 successes. There's going to be successive might checks that you guys are going to have to make.
What is the start DC for these?
Starting DC is only going to be a 2 as these vines reactivate to try and grab at your ankles, etc.
Alright, and spend some points. Big. 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 Fee.
Now you do.
I do
you
have
have any
XP.
XP? Yep.
I mean, there's no real point on spending it. It's fun. Because if it's it goes up by a difficulty, but we've already got 1 success. So how bad could it be, guys? Some will be.
So you didn't fail by more than 10, so the nat
Yeah,
1's
yeah.
not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
But to add some kind of flavor to the nat 1, Bradford gets caught. The reason why you don't get
Cut off
entirely
his head.
caught is like you just like flail to save yourself, and Bradford gets thrown, and so he's now entirely.
Phone noises.
Ooh. So Bradford is about 1/3 covered in the melee that ensues. Before you guys make your next roll, you can choose. If you want to help Bradford, it's going to make it more difficult. But
I do want to help someone. That man is J. Peach. Welcome, my friends, to the adventure. You, sir, are a gentleman and scholar. Thanks so much for following.
So yeah, Seto and Maximus decide what you're going to do with Bradford. While that's happening,
That's tough.
Delamere and Hextus, as you guys are in the vent, it starts to fill with fluid. some kind of like a weird, clear. It's pretty dark in this vent. So you can't really see. Some kind of a bluish fluid. Tastes very metallic. But
we're just laughing at how fucked the other group is.
draining filling into that. So you guys need to crawl in a big way, or choose to just get out of this vent.
Crawling in a big way.
Or the intellect rolling thing.
I mean, I imagine Delamere can't really crawl in a small, pretty rotund sort of fellow.
Yeah. He just
Exactly why it's filling
hope
up
to get to some sort of incline and slide down.
Because Delamere is stuck in the end of it, it just keeps going back and filling up.
Yep.
It's just
He is the plug.
Good thing you're ahead of me.
He is the cork in a bottle.
Cool. So it's just going to be one roll from you guys to see if you can get to the end of this shaft. We're going to say it's might rather than speed because it's more kind of strength based to crawl awkwardly. And the difficulty on this is going to be a 3 to start.
I'm going to use it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Very, very close successes. So you guys start crawling.
Very close space.
What does the party hear below when you guys realize that you've got maybe 9 seconds before this is full of some kind of fluid, and you need to be at the other end really fast? Just describe like what they do.
What is this tube made out of? Is it a metal tube?
Yeah, it's like a square metal duct, but it's I guess it would be rounded because now it's for fluid rather than being for air and ventilation. So yeah, you're basically in a pipe that's just wide enough for Delamere's waist.
Well, I don't want to speak for Cord, but I know I said I had my dagger out and my wrist blade out, and I never withdrew them. So I'm just clambering across. So you guys hear like
chink chink,
the punch noise in like a tuna can when you're trying to open it, and you just see like little bloop bloop of liquid.
Yeah, a lot of like streams of blue goop.
Yeah.
And same thing for Delamere, I guess, with his claw.
Yeah, same thing probably. At a rapid rate, this is filling up.
Yeah, it's like we'll say it starts coming from behind you. Like, unfortunately, it was sealed with strong magnetism at the bottom, so it's not going to drain out that way. So
Yeah, what a shame.
it just, like, starts flooding from behind you, and it's like coming over your shoulders and like choking you and all this kind of stuff as you're trying.
Cool.
I just fist bumped Seto. I'm like, narrowly avoided that.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
All right. I guess we can continue to crawl. It's probably going to be a bit easier now for Delamere because now he's lubed a little more from this bloob, this lubricant.
Cool. So you guys managed to stay ahead of this filling, but when you get to the end, unfortunately, there's another one of these sealed
His name is Hulket.
exits. Hulket 510. To be specific.
Nailed it.
I thought you were gonna say a creature or like a person, but you ended up with like vents, and I was like,
Great.
Yeah, on the vent it says Hulket 510.
there we go. You're a gentle folk and scholar. Welcome.
It's a great, and you know who else is great? There we go.
So yeah, you guys crawl, you manage to stay ahead of this fluid. You get to the end, you realize there's another one of these sealed things. You don't hear Maximus there yet, and you've got to somehow open this, and it's sealed. Not like with weird magnetism, but it's latched from the outside. So you guys can think about how you might want to unlatch your way out, having reached the end of this pipe. As we go back to Seto and Maximus, so you said you want to help Bradford as these vines
Yeah, I mean, so
practically
there's this like wonderful moment where like robot Seto and like real Seto are like conflicted because he's like Seto doesn't know it, but like he's really fond of Naomi and like her husband going back and all this, and he's already told him. But it's like the honourable thing to do, and so like the honourable thing like wins out for Seto. He's like, it is our white husband, and so I go and I look like I'm about to like cut his hand off or like cut his arm off or something, but I like cut the vines. I'm gonna try and kind of slice them off for him.
Cool, so no check required. You're a master of your samurai sword. You can free him, but that just takes time. So your difficulty isn't just going to go up by 1, it's going to go up by 2 for your next might roll before there's 3 successes between you. So a might roll from both of you two. Josh, yours is at a 3. Seto, yours is at a 4.
I dropped mine down by 1. Let's give this a go, Maximus. So 4, come on.
It's good. Didn't lose by 10, though.
Didn't lose by 10, yeah. I do still have that XP to burn if I need to. Maximus, roll yours at 3.
Yes!
There we go. Carrying the team here whilst I'm fucking around at Bradford.
Good to go. All right. For those who don't know, Numenera is a cool system where players have stats that are pools rather than fixed numbers. So instead of having a strength of 12 that gives you a +1 to strength-related stuff, you've got like 12 strength points. And if you want to succeed at a task and it's like extra important that you don't fuck up this roll, you can spend points from your pool. So you're actually choosing as a player like which actions are more important, you're prioritizing. And that's also your HP, because when you take physical damage, it comes off your might. When you take intellectual damage, it comes off your intellect. So it's like the risk-reward thing where you can choose, okay, I don't want to die from this, but this is also HP. So the players will be tired, they lose their resources by trying to reduce the difficulty of tasks that they roll. So when Seto says I'm going to reduce that down, he's actually losing HP. So he's like making a big decision to like spend some points because this is a risky roll.
Risque.
Cool. So Hextus and Delamere, I imagine Hextus like stops as he realizes, fuck, we have to get this open somehow. And Delamere's like clamoring over him, like, why are we stopping? Like,
There's also a Miss Ginger Ninja. Welcome, Miss Ginger Ninja, to the adventure. You're a gentlewoman and a scholar. Thank you for following. Actually, there isn't. It's not canon. There isn't actually a Ginger Ninja. Don't worry, Mike.
That would be awful because there's already
you gotta do with a ninja.
There's already one. There's
already too many people in this tunnel. We have a samurai. The ninja would fight with the samurai. It's not a great situation.
Yeah, there'd be a pirate in there as well. We'd have to see who'd win.
Yeah.
There'd be a bunch of people debating. Yeah.
No.
Someone will form the head. It'll be just too much. So it's locked from the outside?
Yeah, it's latched from the outside.
I pull out the dope-ass gun. I'm going to shoot it because it shoots sonic bullets.
Cool, all right, you're going to fire a bunch. Let me see, what does your gun do again?
Fire sonic bullets?
And I believe I gave you armor pen.
You did give me stats.
How much?
How
much armor pen?
Let me open up my dope-ass gun stats real quick.
Dope-ass gun.
You're trying to open the vent door, right?
Yeah, he's going to try and shoot it. Does Delamere want to help at all?
With my dope-ass gun.
What does it use? It's energy?
It shoots like concussive air.
Okay. We'll see how this works. And I've got something. But...
I apparently didn't write down dope-ass gun stats. I don't know.
Loser.
I have it in my notes.
Wiggle out of my way.
I know.
In that case, it doesn't exist, Mike.
You dropped it.
Sorry, man.
Oh,
I wrote them down, so I have it.
5 damage. 5 damage ignores 3 armor.
there we go. Yeah.
So
I do that.
Cool. So you really awkwardly position what's like a pretty long rifle while you're in a pipe to try and like point it at the latched like escape hatch. And you fire a couple rounds, and it does like clink a couple things open. Like it pops a corner open, and you can see some of the vines down there, and you maybe hear Maximus screaming another Terminator line. So it's not all the way open. It's going to need some kind of push or pop now, but you've like cracked the seal a little bit with this round. As the fluid keeps draining, like pouring out of that hole a bit, and it's starting to build up as well.
Sweet.
Delamere?
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna wriggle by. Like, 'cause I saw him able to move. He has like enough room to get a rifle up and like to get a shot. So there's probably enough room for Delamere's hand to go right next to him, and that's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna probably like, "Excuse me, sorry," and like kind of like wedge his arm between, like, so it like his hand is facing, it's closer, of course, to the opening, and then he's going to use push, and he's going to try to just I guess use a lot of the fluid that is like around and use that as like a concussive pressure and try to like as like a blue mist kind of uncorking of like a bottle.
How much? How far can you push with push? Into the ability, if you remember.
It's in immediate direction.
So full immediate distance worth. I'll say with that combined with the dope ass gun from Magneto that ignores armor, you guys can just describe getting this hatch open with like a series of 1 or 2 shots and 1 or 2 pushes. So describe what Seto and Maximus will see as you guys 20 feet ahead past the vines fall from the ceiling.
Us.
Okay.
Or them.
You guys describe like what does Seto see? Because I'm just going to give it to you. No roll required. I'll just give it to you. It's like going to take 2 or 3 shots and a couple pushes, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, I imagine that like they start seeing like the duct and like the corners are starting to bend from the air, from the dope ass gun, as well as just spurts of blue mist and like the vapor clouds coming from it, and then finally it just like it just pops off, and then like a blue mist and like maybe a ring of air flows through it as well from his gun. But yeah, that's probably just, and then he probably like kind of clambers out, and then I just like slowly slide out. Yeah, just land on the ground face first,
flopping a bunch of blue.
And this was like a wet splotch.
Yeah.
It's that scene from Ace.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
Delamere.
Yep.
Even worse.
Which is a lot of scenes in the Numenera game. Is just Delamere in tight spaces,
Falling out of them.
louses
Falling out
and-
of lubricated tight spaces.
It's the theme. This is what I meant to do.
Yeah, Hextus, like, because I guess he like crawled over Hextus to get to the front of the door, which was also
Well,
pretty.
no, he's still behind you, but his arm is just like,
Oh, he just
and you're like this with
Yeah.
your gun, and it's just like his tentacle smelly arm.
so then I guess you blasted the door and then started to like slide out of it.
Am I hitting the door?
Hextus was taken with you.
Yeah.
So we're just a tangle of tentacles and pustules and a dope ass gun from Macmina.
Yeah.
Cool. So Seto and Maximus, you see this hot mess fall on the ceiling,
Hot mess.
and you guys now get to make your final might checks.
That is going straight in my basket.
Seto, your might task is going to be a 5 as a base, and Maximus, yours stays at a 3 because you succeeded last time.
Maximus, do you want to roll first? No. I'll spend some points, bring it down to a 4. Spend some more points, bring it down to a 3. All right, how badly could this go? Nailed it.
Not at all.
Exactly. Not as well badly.
It was close. All right, so you guys managed to like crawl your way through these vines, like are continuing to try and trap you from behind. You get to where they end, and then
Came from behind.
We'll say Bradford is just fucking terrified at this point because like he almost lost it. Like he was practically dropped, and then he thought he was gonna get cut in half.
Can I just like grab Bradford and then just like sling him
Throw
through into the hot mess, and he just like
perfect.
sails through the door.
And that's what gives you the like freedom to finally be able to like succeed properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Hextus and Delamere are in a pile of blue fluid, you then get hit by Bradford, who's thrown at you. And you guys are all just rolling around together, probably in a kiddie pool, I imagine, just appeared below you. And then we can step off because now the vines can't get farther. You're like at the end of this, like where the vines are covering.
Nice. I like pick you two up, Hextus and Delamere, like pick you up as I'm like running dung 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 over towards you. Come up, and I like bring you up, and I take Bradford in like a third arm. And that's it. Don't question it.
Thought I had tentacles.
I bring you back up. Are you okay?
Are you talking to Bradford?
He's just like hyperventilating and like kind of nodding.
Not you, Bradford. I say, Hextus, you are a man. Are you well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of okay. I'm really close to Delamere now, and I don't know if I like what happened.
Good.
And
Delamere.
Delamere's just smiling.
That's the most terrifying face.
He's
I've
got
ever
an
made.
ERP lewd.
Yeah, just start rubbing his belly cord just for everyone in chat.
Oh God.
I
There.
guess some ERP lewds plus. So yeah, I bring you back up and say, quick! We don't know that they might follow after us. No time to stay lollygaggling. Isn't that what they say? Lollygaggling?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Sure, just let him have it. Or you guys can break into like a trot or a jog, put some distance between you and the vine tunnel. But otherwise, you manage to come to this vertical ventilation shaft that you need to somehow clamber down. You do see, confirming Ubrick's suspicion, there's 6 blades. The shaft is probably like 60 feet across, That's the number I'm going with tonight. Everything will be 60 feet. Probably 60 feet across, circular. These blades fill just about the entire diameter of the shaft. Of course, there's a column running down the center that these blades all are sort of affixed to. They're running not synchronously with one another, but sort of like alternating, but quite quickly. It'll be an intelligence task that you'll have to assess if it's slow enough for you to just be dropping to free fall through one of them. But you can guess pretty well that even if it is possible to free fall through one of them, you'd have to stop before the next one and retime when to let go because they're sort of off sync with one another.
So there's you said there's a central column. Is the central column moving?
No, it's fixed, but because that's where the blades are sort of rotating around. But it's 35 feet out, 30 feet out. So you guys are standing on
the column is spinning.
Yeah, is the column itself spinning these blades, or is there like a mechanism inside of it that's spinning them?
Yeah, no, the column is fixed. So like at the base of each blade is spinning, but the column sort of above and immediately below would be fixed. But you're standing on the edge at the top of this. You got about 200 feet down, and you'd have to somehow get across to that column to climb down, and then somehow get around these blades while climbing.
Okay.
Right. I would like.
First off, just you're going to smell urine, and it's coming from Bradford.
Sure.
I look at him and I shake my head disappointedly. You dishonor yourself, soldier. And then I turn back to
Bradford
the
whimper.
So I have assessing function and something else that I saw that was useful. Machines as a flex skill. Would I know how the internal workings of this column blade system work? Could I figure that out?
From here, no. If you were to get to the column and like open it up, possibly.
Hextus, you are a man. Now, you know things like this. Machines.
I'm trying to figure it out.
We do not trust them.
Right, the machines. We don't, because half of them are Mazik.
I smile as if I've helped.
Like that's it. You just make a statement. Now fix this.
All right, Josh, you had something for Maximus. What was your thought there?
I think what I'm going to try and do is how big, sort of like, is how thick is the column that they're spinning around?
Probably only like 5 feet-ish.
60 feet. Oh.
Yeah, so we got 60 feet across. So that means from the column to any point on the perimeter, you've got 30 feet. And this column isn't super wide. The equivalent of 1 square if we were looking at a tiled map, so just 5 feet.
In which case, I'm going to try and essentially like buckle the column just beneath where the blades are, and sort of essentially whatever's sort of pinning it to stop the blade from just spinning its way down, I'm going to try and like buckle it inward so it will start like moving down the column, and hopefully if it gains enough momentum, it'll just take out all of the blades beneath it. Here's the hoping.
Cool, so you're trying to use which one of your abilities and just sell it to me?
It's probably going to be like destroy metal, and I'm going to just try and like
compress,
sort of lock it. Yeah, the bottom half of the blade, like maybe like a washer or something like that, but obviously a little bit more high tech. I just want to like hopefully it will just spin down and take out all the other blades. We can just climb down a column, and everything will be groovy.
Cool, so I'll say you can use your destroy metal. You're trying to do it in kind of a precise way. You're trying to manipulate, you're trying to get a really particular effect out of it. So rather than just have it happen, we will make a roll associated. So difficulty 4 intelligence to try and get this to like chain reaction properly. You'll for sure be able to stop one of these blades from spinning, but it may not exactly cascade to the rest of them.
How many blades are there?
Yeah, okay.
6.
60.
Cool.
60.
Okay. 6 million. Every time you ask me, I will raise it.
There are more every time, yeah. We look back, there's 12.
Yeah, indeed. I'm going to spend some intelligence to lower that slightly to a 3, and hope. And hope.
Correct.
Just passing out
I'm
the
going to spend one of my. Yeah, I'm going to spend
mic.
1 XP.
You roll a d20, it just comes up Mike, and fuck.
Shit.
It's just like one of the faces is just Mike's face.
Yeah.
And he just.
It's sad Eeyore.
It's sad of your. That's a natural mic, I'm afraid. Sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's
All right, we're gonna need that as an
What does that
emoji.
mean?
Yeah,
It's sad the rest of the game. That's all
the
it means.
LP mic is just Mike with Eeyore's face. Oh, it's so good. Make it happen.
So yeah, Mitch, can I reroll on a spending an XP?
Yeah, if you spend an XP, go ahead.
Cool. 16.
Yeah.
Cool. So on a 16, you are going to successfully like destroy enough of like the base in the right way that you are going to get this blade to slide down, but not quite enough for your like. You would have needed to hit like one of the mini crits, like a 17, 18, or 19, 20, to get it to just not all 6 blades. So you guys see kind of like a crunch at the top of the first blade. The little like nut that it's sort of affixed to the column with, and it slides that blade down to the next one, and now it's kind of like rotating a little bit slower on top because the second one is still running at the same rate that it was, and now there's one just kind of sitting on top of it that's kind of getting clambered up and down, kind of spinning a little bit as well. So you've bought yourself some space. You've now got about a 30-foot drop and 30 feet across, as opposed to just a blade right at the top to deal with.
Hold up, we've hit 25 retweets.
Oh shit.
Hold up. Mitch, you know what happens now.
Yet another viewer decision. Good to go. 2 within an hour at this point.
So at this point, guys, you guys get to decide anything which happens in our game. Let me message. Nix should be on it. So underneath this line here in chat, you guys get to decide what happens next in our game. Mitch, you want to describe to the folks if they're just joining in, if they just don't remember?
So viewer decision, you guys literally throw up whatever suggestion you'd like. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be crazy, it can be epic, it can be an item, it can be an NPC that shows up, whatever you like, anything that you'd want to happen anywhere on the spectrum. And then we take all the results for the first batch that we have, we put them in a straw poll, and everybody votes, and whichever one gets the most votes, I as the GM have to incorporate it into the story. So the party is currently standing over a ventilation shaft, this column that goes a couple hundred feet down. They're trying to scale down it, but there's all these spinning blades. They've stopped one of them, and now they're trying to deal with the other 5 blades scaling down. So anything can happen. It can be related to their particular predicament right now, or it can be separate and just add to the fuckery of what they're trying to achieve.
What's the chasm like?
It's essentially a hollow cylinder with these blades spaced about 25 feet apart.
What is the
I'm
material
not-
of cylinder?
It's metallic. It's sort of, imagine metallic without casing. So you do have bits of exposed wire here and there. So
Okay.
there would be handholds, etc.
I just want to say I'm loving your decision so far. Mike gets hit in the face with something. No damage. It's
My
just
character has-
humiliating.
Nothing to do with machines at all.
Don't trust them. I mean, I think this one's on Hextus really, because he knows what he knows what's up.
Yeah.
Hexus grows a tail and donkey ears and loses all excitement for life.
Rude. Gareth, none of your votes count, okay?
None of your votes count, they're null.
Ooh,
I'd
just
say,
earthquake. One word, vicious.
Yeah, I need to get. Hexus needs to get to the. He needs to get on the pole. That's what he needs to do.
Yep.
get on to the pole, Hextus.
So,
You can try some kind of a jump. That
Josh,
would be
would it be apparent that you
I-
manipulate?
That's
You're going-
30.
You're going to have to toss me.
Gonna have to toss me.
Josh, would it be apparent that you manipulate metal?
Yeah, it's
I think
absolutely
fairly obvious.
I mean, he talks
Yeah,
about it.
he's a magnet.
Okay.
The top half of him is jet black.
So Hextus is like kind of like
Oh my
watching
God.
you guys do stuff, and he like looks over at you and he says, "So I got like a lot of metal stuff on me. Could you throw me over there?"
I could throw you over there,
No.
but I can.
I believe you can. We've grown
could
close enough
both.
today, and I would like to not
All
touch.
right, fine.
I can.
What are
I
we
can
standing
I
on?
can still taste you.
You're standing
Thank
on.
you.
You're standing on like the rim.
There's something we never wanted to know.
How
Sorry.
was
You're welcome, guys. How's that for
hot
hot?
garbage?
Ooh, Lady Angelique, that is nasty. Hextus notices that the off button for the blades is right beside him, but it only holds the blades off while someone is holding the button.
It's cool.
Guys, pick that one. Vote for that one.
So in a few moments here, Rachel will piece it all together and throw up the link in chat. And you guys can go ahead and vote. Until then, I'm gonna.
Yeah, so Hextus, you just asked Josh about moving metal.
Yeah.
What does
I-
Maximus reply? Just like, yeah, I can move shit.
What's the floor made of?
Yeah, so you guys have access to probably like a third of the diameter of the column, and then there's just sort of walls from the hallway that you came through. And it's mostly machine. Again, every once in a while you see like a string of like biological veins, because again, this ship is like laced with bio and mech stuff. But mostly, like metal plates and tiles. And
Cool. Right, I lead you over to like with no like reply whatsoever. I lead you over to like a metal plate, and I want to like just like cut like some cable from like the wire, like some wiring and stuff, and then I just like hand you one end of this cable, nod, and I'm just going to like basically use the tile you were standing on as a launch pad.
Can
and
it be
Sonic the
yeah.
Hedgehog you over this
It's that thing.
with no warning. I'm just gonna.
You just use Sonic the Hedgehog as a verb? Is that what just happened?
Yep.
He's going Gene Grey up in this bitch.
Yes.
So you like lift the thing up just as you like hand it to him. Seto just like gives you a helping hand and like launches you out as well. Oh, that's so good. Like a javelin, I just send you out into the world.
Like,
cool. Mike, you can take an XP because you didn't consent before that happened, and you had no idea it was going to happen.
true, I didn't.
No.
I mean, I did say,
I-
hey, we can do the thing, and then it didn't work.
Hey, like you could throw me some way, and then like the floor beneath you just fuck.
Big.
Fly in the other direction. So yeah, take an XP. You're gonna have to make
Boy.
an acrobatics check to like latch on, because you hadn't discussed where you'd like to be placed. You hadn't really looked to see where you'd like to land on this column
Yeah.
in particular. So you're gonna make an acrobatics check.
As
Difficulty
this
4.
happened, I turned to Seto and I'm like, what do you reckon his plan is to decelerate?
He's going to hit the pole. Oh.
Ah, right, of course.
Just he
How
goes,
decelerate?
He like cartoon
That's a-
character just like pongs into it.
Ragdolls into the blades.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so difficulty 4 acrobatics.
What would that be? Might be.
I'm gonna say this one is might related because it's not as much like
catch.
balance or processing. You're just trying to cling to whatever you can grab frantically.
Shit. All right. Sweet.
Spend down points.
Let's just.
Spend it, girl.
Fuck yes!
Wow, rolls without spending and gets it when it's rolling.
Nice.
That's fucking unbelievable.
Killing it. Hashtag Team Hexus.
You succeed. You cling. I mean, describe the least graceful, and like it looks like you are this. Like it looks to everyone else, it's like fuck. We just killed.
Yeah, so he
But
turned
somehow
me, like,
right before you hit the
conversation.
blade.
He's like, yeah, so you can manipulate metal, right? Could you, like, I'm wearing a lot of metal. Could you, like, launch me over there? And then all of a sudden he's like, whoa, like Goofy, as he goes standing across the thing. And you just hear, like, pang. And, like, he's scrambling to grab as he's sliding towards one of the blades. And, like, he
Like
just
Mowgli, trying
complete
to
shot.
find the tree.
And, like, one foot reaches out and he just steps on the blade and he just starts slowly rotating around this pole on the blade edge.
Oh, nice.
All right, well, I guess we're Great job.
Straw
Right
poll is
here.
in chat, guys. So go ahead and vote on that straw poll, and we'll see what happens next. Thanks so much, Nix, for getting that done for us. Very helpful. Got a bunch of options here, so pick your favorite, and
And we will take this one a little bit quicker, I think. So vote
Yeah.
right away if you can, because this some of them I think related to being in this location. So we'll want to make sure that it's all good.
Yeah, I'll give it a second to wait, because this, depending on what pops out of this poll, could well, phrasing.
Praising.
Depending on what happens here, it depends on decides what I can do.
I'm so glad we're still doing phrasing. Over a year in.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we see him go there and say, Hextus, you are there. Who
You're
your
a
friend?
man.
Hextus, you're a man, and you are on the blade.
I like to remind him sometimes.
Guys, it is overwhelmingly off button. It's like 8
Yeah.
to 1.
Woo!
Yeah, it's the off button.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I
alright.
think I think that might be the answer.
Cool. So Hextus, you're going to find the off button right where you're standing.
Sweet. That's what I hoped for. That's what I plan on doing
That
anyway.
was the dream, man.
I plan on making an off button anyway. So, unbeknownst to everyone in chat,
Ha!
Hextus reaches deep into his bag and pulls out what looks to be like a 6-inch strange railroad spike that has like lights and buttons on
Don't
it.
tease me like that, Mike.
He presses the top of it and jams
Starts
it
vibrating.
button as I activate my cipher, which is a reality spike. When activated, this thing never moves. So he jams it into the button and permanently stops the spinning blades of death forever.
You can take
So
Such
you can
breath
take an
help.
XP for an awesome use of a cipher. That's sweet.
Sweet.
Nice.
Had you not given me a button, Lady Angel K, I was jamming that into the blades and hoping it would stop them.
And don't worry, chat. I know that seems like your viewer decision didn't fuck with them in any way. It helped them sort of. Don't worry. Like I figured they would stop the blade somehow. So that's not all that's in this.
Yeah.
And we are just one patron away from you guys getting another viewer decision as well. So if you haven't checked out our Patreon and you want to support the show, you want to support over 130, 150 hours that we do every single month, 5 nights a week, 9 shows every single week, then you can pledge. Just let us $1 to show your support to the team here and to all that we do. And another viewer decision happens at 60 patrons. So check out the Patreon if you haven't already.
Cool. So the blades have stopped.
Good.
Yeah. You
Well
guys have
done,
quite a
Hextus.
scale that you've got to make, but
Yeah, in that case, I'm going to start scaling down because it looks perfectly safe.
Yeah, Hexus looks back over, especially at Seto, and it says, Seto, you are a robot, and you're safe now.
I bow, I say, my name, I bow across this like chasm, I'm like, my name is Seto Yeshuan. I am in my ancestors' form right now.
Right. Yes.
And I start climbing down.
Yes, Delamere.
You are a man.
Thank you.
You did that.
You the man.
I did.
How did you do that?
the party still doesn't believe Hexus isn't some kind of robot, and Hexus just doesn't know why they keep asking
He
him.
just he just gracefully lands on a blade and is like, boop, the end.
Tell me your secrets.
How do you speak to the
I
machine?
had a piece of a machine that I just jammed in there.
Cool. So you guys all start scaling down in some way. Right as you're like going over the edge, we'll say, Maximus, you see Bradford had like started to like tie a rope around his waist, but you guys are already gone, so he kind of just like stops and realizes he's gonna have to climb properly. So he starts clambering over as well. So everybody give me a climb check. If you've got any kind of climbing that helps, this is going to be might related, only a difficulty 3, and not worried, no worries.
Now you're speaking like me.
Timing of the blades, because the blades have been successfully stopped.
Okay. Hey, I've got balancing and careful movement. Either of those gonna.
I'll give you an asset for careful movement.
Okay, cool. Down to 2. Nailed it. 10. So I'm shimmying on down.
What did you
like
say
a
the difficulty was?
3.
2 or 3? Oh, you reduced it to 2, yeah, so it's a 3.
Yeah. That was probably the
What is this? This is a what speed thing? I was thinking about how to do it.
3
So-
might.
Yeah,
Might.
pretty much.
Thank you.
It might be.
It might be. Oh, yeah.
Oh, nat 20 in the house.
Hello.
I'll say Bradford falls, and you just are able to
course he
grab
does.
him with your claws, and you're now fine. Like
He immediately touching him, looking for like mutations all over his body. He's like, no, just let me fall to my.
yeah, like he's falling, and he's like and he's like you're like.
I love the idea that he's like caught on one of the blades and like his like shirt gets like caught up comically like they do in films, and then you just like pick him up from that like.
You just like dangle like one limp sort of flaccid tentacle finger claw thing in front of him, and you're like take my claw, and he's like, no.
That's not my finger.
He just unzips his shirt and just.
But really, he's just above the ground.
Yeah. He looks down and drops a foot. Oh.
Close.
So you guys start climbing. You get about 2/3 of the way down, no issues at all. You start to hear like beeping and some sort of call, like robotic call in a language you can't understand. Seems like some kind of automated, you know, like the teacher from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Indecipherable words, but something is speaking. These fans have been off for probably the better part of 10-15 minutes now. And looking up, you start to see and hear loud hissing as coolant jets start spraying sort of like the whole perimeter, just
Oh yeah. Whoops.
and working their way lower as they continue down. And that stuff looks real cold because it immediately like cakes the blades in a thick coating of ice.
So I think with the 20, Delamere still kind of had his tentacles as claws. My mic is away because I was doing effects. Still has his finger claws, and then he starts to climb down, and then he starts noticing that the wires are starting to snap and cut, and then he's like, uh-oh, and then he actually just slides down, cutting, sparks are flying, but just like the cutting all of the wires is actually slowing his fall. That's probably how he scales.
Cool. So yeah, you can scale.
Sparks are flying.
Yeah, you can scale all the way down, just like Wolverine style, just like
Yeah.
sliding in your claws stuck into the wall. Everybody else, however, has to make a climb check. Depending on how much they succeed by or not, is going to determine at which point they're essentially going to have to jump or make some kind of a decision, because this coolant fills this column and just moves all the way down. So how far down can you get before you're going to have to just jump and hope that you're not too high?
Before we even get there, Midge, I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to thank Drist Fury, thank you, Stephen, for the $1 pledge on Patreon. Thank you so much, my friend. You are a gentleman scholar. Let's give him that Patreon fist bump. And also, can we thank Beth Kirkham? Thanks, Beth, aka Encounter Beth, for you guys.
Oh, no, someone got there before me.
Yeah, wrecked. Drist Fury in there with that speedy Patreon pledge. But thank you, Beth. You are a gentlewoman and scholar. Let's give Beth that Patreon fist bump. Josh, you can give a personal in person, the first ever Patreon fist bump in person.
It's true. It's the first ever in-person fist bump.
Yeah. There we go. Nailed it.
That was the whitest thing I've seen on the internet today.
There's like a terms and bottom of the, there's gonna have to be like an amendment to the page, like not all fist bumps will be delivered in person by one of the encounters.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're just gonna have to go to everyone's house, be like, boom.
All
So
right,
this next viewer
There we
decision,
go.
this is the rare and elusive hat trick, 3 viewer
Yeah.
decisions in one show. Super stoked.
one.
Glad it's well,
Oh my gosh.
as always. This one, no restrictions, doesn't have to be trap related, because from here they're heading on to their objective. So what happens? Whatever you'd like can happen. So fire up those suggestions, those ideas. Everyone else in the party except for Delamere needs to make another climb check. I'm just going to say the base difficulty on this is a 1 because you've all succeeded on starting to climb. So it's not quite so much a matter of whether you can continue climbing. It's more, the more you succeed by, the further down you'll get, the less height you'll be falling from. But you also get a chance to like use some kind of action while falling to mitigate that if you have
Only Mike could fail this roll.
I
8.
could.
So
What's
I
the
get
number that I'm failing?
you're just rolling a difficulty 1, so it's
So
either 3 or higher.
Oh, you're right. Literally, only I could fail this roll.
Yeah. I'm counting on you, man. Oh, damn.
I'm pulling him out today.
Whoa.
Big roll.
He's he's upgraded to a D8.
I know.
Nice.
Alrighty, so Maximus, I guess you're first, or was that your previous climb roll? Let me check here. That was your
That
previous
was my previous 16.
16. All right, so even better. So Maximus, you're going to climb down, and you're going to be about like 20 feet from the bottom of this like ventilation shaft that you were climbing down, and then there's another 10-foot drop to the floor. So you've got a 30-foot drop. Your call what you'd like to do with that. The other two, however, you guys are dealing with a 50-foot drop. You're both at the same height. You both rolled an 8. One of you, however, is on the central column. The other is on the wall. So
Central Wallum.
Central Wallum. So you guys can all choose to take an action to mitigate your fall, but that's the fall you're dealing with as far as the damage you're going to be taking, 30 and 50.
Damn. In that case, what I want to do is full kind of comic book style. I'm gonna get the sword and I'm gonna like jam it into the Wolverine style. In fact, jam it into the wall because it's all like tubing and wiring. I'm gonna like slow my descent with like as I'm like coming down with my sword. But of course, it's like the perfect blade, and so it's cutting down very like neatly and efficiently. But my weight should kind of slow it down at some point, hopefully.
Cool, I'll give you that. So that'll reduce how much damage you'll take. I'll explain how that works in a sec. Mike,
Sure.
any action that Hexus is going to take as opposed to just leaping before all this like liquid nitrogen just like consumes the rest of this?
No, he's doing pretty good with the John Woo stuff. So yeah, he's just gonna. Actually, he will shout to Maximus as he leaps into the air.
That was an evil fucking laugh.
That was evilly, or
It was. Yeah, so he's on the top of this blade thing, or I guess he slid down. But yeah, so he slides down, and like he kicks off at the end, and he shouts to Maximus, "Catch me!" as he jumps through this stuff.
nice.
Cool, Maximus. You are going to fall and hit the ground before they do. So you're going to hear that, and you will be able to like turn and like help stop him falling. But it's not until like you hear that. So it's like it is going to reduce the damage for Mike, but it's not going to affect the damage that Maximus will take because he's still going to drop his 30 feet first.
I mean, it'd be
so-
great if you just stepped in front of him and caught me instead. And just like splotchy noises.
Gross.
But Klaus again.
If I stick out an arm, you are basically just hitting an iron bar. Like, that's not something you want me to do.
I
just
know,
land
I
on
mean, I
yeah.
know with your magnetism, you do have sweet magnetism.
Cool. So
That is true.
Maximus, roll me a d6. That's the might damage you're going to take from falling from the 30 feet.
Can I try and essentially? No, that's just crazy. I was kind of going to try and repel my own upper metal body from the floor.
Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll let you
Like-
choose. You can either reduce your falling damage, or you could reduce Hextus's.
You know what? I'll reduce Hextus's because Maximus is actually a pretty cool guy. So yeah, I'll take it. Like I probably like jump out and like catch you, and then like I'm going to like try and fall on my shoulder and head because that's metal, and sort of like hopefully that will just I'll just like his plan is to just hit the floor like a meteorite and be fine.
Cool. So you're going to take a d6, not reducing your own. So roll a d6. That'll be might damage.
Nice. See what you get. See what you get.
3.
Yeah,
Not so
3.
bad. Could be worse.
No bad,
And
no
then
bad.
Maximus, Seto and Hextus, you guys were going to take d12s from 50 feet. You both successfully sold me on some kind of reduction that happened. So instead, you're going to roll d10s for your might damage that you're going to take.
Alright then, D10.
And
Fine.
depending on how bad it is, you guys can flourish what your lane looks like.
Alright, take my might down by 5. Ouch. So yeah, I land in a heap. I guess the sword is like comes down, but it comes loose at one point and another, and I'm just like free falling the last point. I just kind of land Iron Man style, I guess, and smash into the floor.
Cool. How does Hexus land?
So Hexus jumps 50 feet and shouts, Maximus, catch me! And in full hopes that he would realize that he can manipulate metal and that he has several knives and a dope-ass gun on him, and to catch him in midair. However, he doesn't and spreads his arms, and he just hits him in the metal chest and eats shit with him. He's like, wham!
Chips
Ow!
on his nose.
The thing is, like,
Yeah, like chips, he got like scratches on his face now. Because he's all like nuts and bolts, just random mishmash of metal. Good shit.
Just nuts and bolts.
I think you're getting like a good idea, a good gauge of like how Maximus thinks. You're like, I wonder if I could get over there. Could you help me get over there? And I just fire you over there. And now you're like, could you like stop me from crashing into the ground? Yeah. I'm like, cool, I'll just jump on you. Maximus.
Actually, we're gonna say because I like the idea of something fusing to Maximus, because he just had this like unexpected thump, and then Maximus's mind would like be bracing for the pain, so he's not controlling his magnetism. You're gonna accidentally fuse that oddity that Mike had, that box. Or no, who had the box?
It's me. Oh wait, no, I had not a box.
Oh, I've got a box. That's
I've
cold.
got a box that I opens with smoke.
Yeah, so your smoke box, we'll say, wherever you put it on your equipment is now like, so if it was like in your pocket or in your pack or something like that, in the process, it like flies up in this and then you land on it. So now your sealed lockbox that smoke opens is now on your chest, Maximus.
Nice. So on the hour, guys, as we tend to do, I'll do a quick go around with some hooks and plugs. So if you're enjoying the show, then whilst you're voting as well, whilst you're getting any votes, and we can take a minute here to see which is in the lead. Looks like Ledelamir's hand one is in the lead.
Hello.
But if you're new to the show and you don't know what's going on, then feel free to hit that follow button and join us. It's the best way to keep up with all of the shows that we do. Today we're playing Numenera, but tomorrow we're playing Dark Heresy and D&D 5e. Wednesday we're doing a bunch of Curse of Strahd games. So join us throughout the week. We're here all the time. As Gareth says, hit our heart in the best way. And we've got a YouTube channel, we've got a website. It's actually, if you guys are interested in those articles, it's !gender. You can go and read those articles on women in gaming if you're interested at all, and you can go have a read of those. Other than that, of course, you can follow Mike Eeyore of Encounter Roleplay at Unmade Gaming. I'm rolling with it now, it's a thing. And
actually, I formally request that instead of putting a shout-out command, make it !Eeyore, and that's my shout-out command.
It's done. Consider it done. And the moustache of the show, Myth, who you do a bunch of video gaming stuff, right, Myth?
I do a lot of video gaming, a lot of video game role play. So I role play through characters, discovering stories through ad-libbing and collaborating character with others through the eyes of one character. Right now I'm playing through Ark, so that dinosaur silly survival game. Check me out. I'll be on later.
Yeah. And the only other thing, guys, if you haven't entered our giveaway, there's like 7 days left to enter our giveaway. For a copy of the Curse of Strahd, we're giving away this hard copy of Strahd, a hard book here, as well as a monster manual, a dungeon master's guide, a player's handbook, all these different books. You can go and enter giveaways, and be sure to get those in quick, because there's not too long to enter those giveaways left if you haven't already. So Mitch, it looks like again we've had a bit of a blowout here. So number 10, Delamir's other hand gives the ability to de-evolve anything it touches, taking things back to a previous evolutionary state, with 40% of the votes here.
I'm a big fan because, Delamir, you were sliding down this ventilation shaft with your claws, and you were like ripping wires apart. So you were getting like some surge of electricity. And we're going to say this comes with roll a d4. You're going to take a d4 of falling damage.
Mutation.
So it's the smallest amount of falling damage you take. But instead of it being falling damage, this is like the electricity. So you're getting like electrified a little bit as you score your way down.
4, of course.
So that's off your might pool, and it's so bad that at one point you like let one of your arms off, and you're just trying to slide with one because it hurts.
Yeah.
So the claw that you just continue to grind down with, like it's completely like it's all scarred, and it's like it's black and crackling, and it just feels weird and tingly to you.
Yeah.
Even though you'll be able to heal the tissues, that hand is fucked.
Yeah. It feels lighter and like I can't, and like it's just very, it's like a very weird feeling. I can't. There's a lot of feeling that is just numb, and I'm just like, what, and it's very tingly. Cool. That's giving me my left hand. Yeah, I mean both hands do all of his work, but I guess the left one will be the one that is that will devolve creatures.
Sounds good.
Which will be hard to find out, but I'm excited.
Left hand of Delamere devolves.
Right
Yeah, I
on.
mean, for things like the mutation that you cause, this will be nice to be able to bounce back and forth. But it's also definitely going to just cause a devolving mutation as well, sort of like have a weird adverse effect too.
We're going back to monkeys.
All right, so you guys land at the bottom of this. The coolant jets do, in fact, go towards the bottom of this central column, but they do stop where the sort of ceiling, I guess, ends. So you guys are now sort of in the base, which looks like some kind of a, I guess, like a power station of some kind. There's lots of different generators and that type of stuff. Again, most of this is off. Most of the ship is in stasis. It's not operating. But you're entering into sort of a warehouse-sized space, with 10-foot ceilings and lots of little generators and things all over the place. And then there's this central cooling column. There's another one you see like 50, 60 feet, we'll say 60 feet in another direction. So there's a couple of these in this section of the ship that keeps whatever part was operating here nice and cool and ventilated. But otherwise, Hextus, you know the way to go from here. You're probably only 10 or 15 minutes more walking before you get to the chamber that these Calramites are supposed to be in.
Okay, and I do know the way?
Yep, from here you know the way.
Perfect. So then, I am going to... I'm going to reach into my pack and pull out a small case that I'm going to open up that has 2 orbs in it. I'm going to take one of the orbs and I'm going to program it nice, and like throw it up towards the ceiling, and it's one of the roving eyes, and I want it to stay here and watch.
Cool, sounds good.
And I'll put the rest of it back in my bag, and all right, guys, I think it's right over here, and then I'll head down the hallway.
I will follow.
Or when I have the dope ass gun readied.
From Macmina.
From Magmina. Dope ass gun from Magmina.
As I walk past, I flick one of your balls, and then I just ding. I've no idea what this is, so I'm just like, ding.
Ow.
And then can I scan ahead to see if like we're alone in this tunnel? It's a pretty like scan sort of like.
I think scan is
small space.
Yeah, I think scan is more for like an immediate space that's sort of like take a scan of like an object or like an area, but it doesn't really project too far. Because you got about 15 minutes of walking, it would be hard to say keeping scan sort of active at all times. You're only going to be within like a 10-foot bubble of what you're scanning.
Okay, cool. I do not do that then.
All right, Delamere or Seto, anything before you actually make it to the chambers or something you do? Any actions?
I turn to Bradford and I say, when we're in there, do not get yourself into trouble.
Yes, Seto.
Good.
He's cowering under his hood. We'll say he's got like a sore ankle and he's really limping, and you're convinced that he's like mushing the limp, like he didn't fall that hard. You guys-
Really milked it, buddy. Come on. Come on. You want me to help you? Here, come here.
And I try to, I have to throw my left arm over him and try to hoist him up.
Sounds good. His skin is going to swallow all of the scales in an excruciating fashion that he's not a fan of. He'll take a little damage because devolving should never feel good.
Doesn't feel good, man.
I thought you were gonna like put your arm over him and he was gonna like revert to like a caveman. Like, that's what it, like, it literally takes back evolution. Like he's like.
He's convinced he's
say-
Bradford.
We'll say, Bradford as opposed to Bradford. We'll say it takes away weird mutations, so it'll give Delamere that versatility. But if someone doesn't have a Delamere granted mutation, it will do something else weird and like take away a feature or a trait that they have. But yeah, so his scales just like fold back and like slide back into his skin, and he just kind of like screams and people smile.
Okay, you're really milking it. Come on.
So,
I can't hurt that much.
so now he's like really whimpering.
But if I hit it with my right hand, he's not going to evolve again. It's
We'll
not
say
like-
we'll say no. We'll say
Just spam mutations on then just like hands.
It's like in Fern Gully where they're testing the spells and they keep changing different forms. I'll just,
Ooh, moose! I know
That's
that
probably
one.
a
What's
gift.
next?
yeah.
The grab bag.
That's good.
Cool. All right, so you guys make your way to this central chamber, the chamber that Hextus saw with one of his roving eyes, but not in person, not through the door. You saw Hextus like from the inside of this chamber rather than the outside. You're looking at a pretty serious blast door, probably about 13, 14 feet wide. It does have a glass panel that you can see through. Hextus, you can confirm this is the chamber you're wanting to get to. Somebody who knows maths, tell me what this is. A 10-sided shape? 10 sides?
Dodecahedron?
Decadon.
Decadon?
Decadon.
So that's the shape of this room. It's got these 10 sides. In each of the corners is one of these pods that holds these Calramites. And Hextus, you'll recall that like the pods in this chamber are like way more ornate and like embellished than the pods that were in the other chamber that Matt Doss told you about. So this is like a central room. These are like particularly important Calramites, but they're behind a blast door that's sealed and locked, but there is a little bit of a terminal there.
That Matt Doss taught me about.
Yeah, when you had that little powwow when you guys first got there, and he like told you all of his notes and all the things that he suspected, everything that he'd heard and found out about his like conspiracy theory on the Calramites.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one that my roving eye found.
It is indeed, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so like the Calramite plate is on one of these walls, I think, right? You said?
Yeah, it's actually the entire perimeter of like the 10-sided room is one giant depiction of the Calramite plate as like a band going around in repetition rather than just like a fixed rectangle.
Well, this is pretty much all I know.
How do we wake them up and speak to them?
Well, this is pretty much all I know.
Hextus, you're a man. You know what you're doing.
Go on. I like where you started from.
What
Yes.
do we do here?
I've noticed that he does things when Seto says that. So-
Yeah, right?
Remind him he's not a robot, and he does things with robots somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He is probably not a robot, and he does things. So
That's their definition of Hextus. What do you remember about that adventure?
not a robot does things.
Probably not a robot.
Exes, I'm sure you can
yeah,
figure it
Hexus is
out.
gonna walk over to one of these pods.
You got
like-
a blast door in front of you.
Oh, the blast door in front of us. Okay. So he's gonna scramble up with his tiny body up to like the like I assume there's like a glass shielding, and he's gonna like look in, and he's just kind of like mumbling out loud. Well, I only ever found another one of these rooms, and I could just walk right in. So this is like a bigger one. Now, this one seems pretty important. So
Is it
and he
metal?
hops down and looks like is there like a panel anywhere nearby?
Yeah, there's a terminal to the side of this door. We'll say, Maximus, you take a look, because it's mostly a metal door, you're getting a sense, but it's like upwards of 3 feet thick. So this is a serious sealed chamber. So you could try something funky, but it'll definitely be tough. And then there's the terminal there as well.
Okay. So I have lock picking and sabotage. Would either one of those apply to this?
I could say that sabotage would, but lockpicking, no.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to somehow get into this terminal. There does seem to be power to this terminal and this chamber. There are lights on in here that aren't just like the red emergency lights that you see through most of Calram.
Sure.
So there's like a constant, steady flow of power to this chamber that's been preserved somehow, even though the hallways you've been walking to get here haven't had that.
Okay. Yeah. So he cracks his knuckles and he's gonna take a whack at this terminal here.
Cool. So base difficulty is going to be 7 to actually get the keypad to just open the door. But again, sabotage will give you 1 asset. If you've got any training in computer,
I also have training in machines. Does that work?
that'll help as well.
Sweet. So that's a 5, and then Then I have what, 3 effort, so that's a total of 5 to reduce. 1, 2. Yeah, so 7 down to a 5, minus another 3 to a 2.
Maths, what's happening?
Boom!
19. Oh yeah.
Didn't need to do any of those reductions.
Awesome.
Baby crit.
Oh.
So I opened the shit out of that door.
Little baby
You're muted.
crit.
Heated.
Drink.
Empty bottle.
Where's your fancy wine? It's ridiculous.
Thanks, Will. It's all gone. I drank far too much, always.
Always. The past 20 years of my life.
Yeah, 27 years, yeah, just constant. What I'll say, Hexus, is as you're hacking into this terminal, you'll get like tidbits of information about what's in this room. So like you realize like you are now entering, like please enter like security code, blah, 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 all that shit. You're kind of, sneaking around as best you can, hacking this terminal. But you're definitely hacking into like a royal chamber of these Calramites. And on the 19 as well, I'll say that you're going to have an asset if you try to do any other hacking in that room, just from having like gotten used to this interface and how this works.
Okay. You said it was a what kind of room?
So it's 10-sided, so it seems kind of circular. It's probably 60 feet across, we'll say.
Yep.
It's the third night.
Hextus, you're in a room.
In each of the corners, you're a man in a room.
You're a man in a room.
Each of the corners of the 10 sides has one of these pods. In the center, there's what looks kind of like a cross between like a terminal station, like a pretty serious computer setup, but also an altar because it's raised on like a 1-foot high platform, and there's really nice like red cloth like all around it as you step up. So like a really nice red carpet of some kind at the base of this computer. And then beside each of the pods, you've got sort of the adornments that you saw with your roving eye. So there's like tables set out beside each of the pods, and each table has like artwork and sculptures and vases and jewelry and like pieces of what look like some kind of like fabric paper with strange scrolls and markings on them. Just like a pile of valuables beside each of these pods on the table.
Okay. So before I step in the actual room, I'm going to take the second roving eye, which had this place mapped to it, since I don't need to know how to get back here anymore. I'm going to reprogram that, and I'm going to have it basically circle around this room and like look for things from a bird's eye view, like from a top-down perspective. If there's like the pods are organized in any kind of pattern, or if there's anything we can't see from ground level.
Cool. Okay, you can be doing that. Delamere, Maximus, and Seto, first impressions of the room. What do you guys do as you step in?
I mostly rely on my more intelligent companions when it comes to stuff like that. I'm on guard duty. I'm looking out for anything that could attack us. I got Bradford behind me, and I.
Who just like keeps touching his skin.
That's weird.
Little red slits all over his skin from where the skin went, or the scales just sunk back in.
Oh, that's not
I imagine they like were a transformer. They just turned over.
Yeah.
He has the willies.
I'm probably inspecting Bradford because I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, so we'll say, yeah, he's got, like paper cuts. Like,
Yeah.
systematically all across his body, like equidistant from one another in these perfect lines where the scales like folded back and disappeared.
Equidistance is like horse distance, right?
Yeah, so
right.
one horse apart, but like a really small horse.
It's as opposed to elephant distance. It's horse.
Yeah, that's Ella distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's inspecting you.
cool. I am going to try, and I'm more interested in sort of like what's in the pods. Like, I couldn't give a rat's ass about anything else. Like, right now, like, Maximus is just, like, really curious as to what these things are. I mean, are they humanoid? Are they just gonna, like, spill out, like, some giant gelatinous mound of stuff? I mean, like, in his mind, he's, like, running through all these, like, really sort of, like...
But it's through the register of, like, shitty 70s and 80s horror films. It's just, like, all the different shapes of monsters I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
for anybody who's wondering why Maximus is constantly breaking the fourth wall, it's actually because before he was the metal man who could manipulate metal, his original character could travel through time, but really, really poorly because he was just a level 1 character. So he had little like memory hiccups from other times. So he injected all these like modern day.
Yeah, he's actually become like a lot more grounded since he stopped. Like,
Grounded.
okay. He,
Lays
yeah,
down.
he's become a little bit sort of like less off the walls because he's not like randomly hopping in and out of time, and also like people have stopped messing with him because he didn't know what timeline he was in most of the time. Like, and he would honestly, like, he got to the stage where Beth's character could persuade him to do something by telling him that he had already done it and therefore he had to continue doing it, otherwise he'd break the cycle. And he was like, oh no, I'll create a paradox, so he'd just do it. So yeah, he's still got a lot of memories from a lot of different times, but like his time travel is
Yeah. So he can't time travel anymore. Instead, that swapped out. He now controls magnetism from the Iron Wind. What I will say, Josh, we'll talk after the session because I wanted to bring it up. Now the chat knows you're sort of back and forth. Your old descriptor, so in Numenera, your character is a descriptor, a noun, and a verb. His old verb was travels through time. That's now employs magnetism. But his old descriptor was mad, and he was mad story-wise because he was traveling through time. So, Josh, you can start thinking of a different descriptor and swap out some of those abilities that you got from the descriptor of being mad. If you feel like your character is really coming down enough, you're also free to keep playing him as mad because he spent most of his life traveling through time. But that's your call.
cool. Thank you very much. I'll keep that in mind. But like, so far as the here and now, I just want to know, like, I imagine like he tries to like wipe like the condensed sort of like, are these glass? Can we see into these pods or?
It's glass, but like the black crusted brine is on the inside of the glass, so you can't see into it by wiping the outside.
Well, it's also the fact that like he's just wiping like that piece of metal over it. It's not like he realizes, like, he reaches for like a dirty rag that he keeps like in his jacket, and he's like, oh, everything is metal. This sucks. So he's gonna like just turn around, see if anyone is like paying much attention, and if no one is, he's going to just seeing that his clothing is metal, he's going to get like the edge of his jacket, which is like quite thin, and he's going to feed it into like the crack, and I'm going to try and use my metal jacket as a crowbar and try and pop the lid on one of these things. You probably,
These things are
Probably
sealed.
safe.
Yeah, these things are sealed in a whole bunch of ways. You don't even find a crack that you can fit your metal jacket through. It's far too thick. Even trying to like thin out, the thinnest piece of material you can find. These things are sealed in a big way and meant to stay shut. You do notice though, because you're the one closer to one of these pods inspecting, not only do they have both biological and mechanical wiring and tubes feeding into them, these pods seem to be like active in some way. Like it gives off a little bit of heat when you sort of get close to it, and you can see fluid moving back and forth through like the biological like pumps that are attached to it.
cool. In which case, I'm gonna be like, right. How many pods are there? Sorry.
10, because you got 10 corners to this 10-sided.
I'm gonna try and put my fist through the glass.
You're muted again, Mitch. Drink.
Aha!
So Seto is standing guard. Delamere is inspecting Bradford.
Yep.
Right before Maximus tries to punch the glass on one of these things. Hextus, you were taking a look around these pods. What you see from like the bird's eye view from your roving eye is that 3 of them are not on, is your best guess, because there doesn't seem to be like active fluid moving back and forth from them. You don't see as much like small bits of light sort of every once in a while sort of flickering in some of these pipes. So 3 of these pods are in some way less active than the other 7.
Okay.
And Maximus, give me a might task. This is going to be a difficulty 6 as a start to break through this glass.
Cool. Okay. I'm willing to gamble with that. I'll reduce it by 1. I'm going to reduce it by 2 actually, down to a 4, and hope, because this is potentially going to suck. Hope that whatever's inside appreciates being set free, and nope,
Doesn't appreciate it.
It doesn't appreciate.
Yeah, it's set free, but it hates you. No.
Yeah.
So as your fist hits the glass, like you look over and Hexus is just like below you, watching you. You know, it's like, what was that gonna do?
I'm just like, I just wanted to check that they were, protected, and that because if I hit it and like steam escaped or something like that, maybe there's a leak, maybe they could be crazy or.
Hexus, do something.
Yeah, Hexter, just slap him, but like I try gently because otherwise it's just a metal arm just hitting him.
You are a man. Do something.
You are a man. Questioning
No,
Maximus.
I'm just like, are you a man?
Yes.
Oh. I said to the group, I'm like, why do we keep asking him if he is a man? Like,
I am telling him. Hexus, you
He
are a
needs to
man.
know.
It is a confidence boost.
Can you do something about these pods? We are trying to get into the pods because we believe these are the Calramites. Now, you know things about the Calramites.
Yes,
Can
I
you
do.
open the pods?
Let me try something. He's gonna walk over to the center console in the middle of the room and see what that's all about.
It is a serious computer terminal. There's like monitors all around it, lots of different sort of access points. It looks like one like long disc of like a keyboard is like the best way to say, but it's just kind of like a flat like light projected panel. But it's one continuous ring that it would clearly take a lot of people to be using all at once to use as effectively as it's made to be. But you can tinker. It's on.
Okay. Yeah, is it in like a different language? Like, does he understand what any of the stuff does?
So you'll have an asset from having like sabotaged your way through the door,
Right.
But this is a more like particular task you're trying to do rather than just like shut it off or cause like a hiccup. That
Sure.
required less like understanding of the language and what was passing through. So this is going to be a difficulty 6 again, but you've got the reduction down to 5 to start because of your asset. And then what else have you got? You've got computers, machines.
Yeah, so I have the asset from you. I have sabotage and my flex skill is machines.
Cool. So I'll give you the flex skill, but for this one, I won't give you sabotage unless you want to risk potentially like deactivating the pods and killing what's inside of them.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But I'll say you can use sabotage if you want, but if you fail, like there's a chance that you'll sabotage as opposed to like carefully use this machine how it's supposed to be used. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with the flex skill, so that brings it down from a 6 to a 4. And then
And you're on mic.
Maximus will like lean over and just be like, remember we do have 10 of them. Like there's a margin for error here. This could just be a war.
yeah, no, we he like flips open the box that he had before. You can see the roving eye just kind of moving around the room. We have 7. And then he closes the box and puts it back away.
And the party's just like, he does know things.
Yeah. He's a man. He knows things.
So how does effort work? You can only spend it. Is it every time you do a roll you can spend up to?
Yeah, every time you use an action, you can spend your levels of effort, but you're restricted to how many levels of effort you can apply for an individual roll to your level. So you guys are tier 3, you can reduce a task up to 3 times, but it costs 3 points for that pool each time. And then your edge just reduces from the total cost, not for each of those levels of effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna reduce it by 2.
Okay.
And I'm gonna mic it right up.
Oh, man. All right, so
Drop the
I'll
mic.
Mic it
Actually,
up.
I'm gonna spend one of my 3 experience points because this seems like it's a real important job.
What are you trying to do?
wake him up.
Hack into this giant machine.
Hack not. All right. Never mind. I know. I think I have an idea, but it doesn't.
Are
Help.
you shitting me? I'm doing it again. Oh,
Nailed it. Really?
I'm stacked XP, guys, for this exact moment.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Just on that D8.
Fucking just.
Oh god damn it! This is my curse.
Ridiculous.
This is
My curse.
It's my gift. This is also my curse.
Hashtag my nightmare.
ERP Nat Mike.
Oh, it's so good.
Cool.
So yes, I hacked the shit out of this. ish.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll say that each of those failed attempts represents you like nearly just shutting off all the power and killing every one of these Calramites. You go, oh fuck, and you're like re-scrambling.
Like it makes a loud noise, so it's usually like, and it's like, bung, bung.
Yeah, how do you guys? How does the rest of the party respond? Is like you hear 2 rounds of the room starting to like go into siren mode, and then it stops, and then it does that again, and then it stops. What are the thoughts about Hextus from the others?
Hextus, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Exus leans out from behind the computer and he's like, "That's the warning sign. They're turning the pods on."
Oh, all right. Well, why is it happening? What's happening again? What's going on? Why is it happening?
That's just they warn you twice.
Oh, okay.
Third time's a charm.
I don't. I'm like these guys seem very.
3 times an alarm. That's how it works.
Yeah, I trust them. They seem responsible. They have a double failsafe. I feel like these people could help us.
Hexus knows what he's doing. He is a man.
I turn to Seto and I'm like, we're actually running out of men. Like I've just realized it. I don't think me, you, or Delamere actually count as men anymore. So
That is why we have Hextus.
I turned to Hexus and I'm like, you are essentially the mascot.
Next is you are a man.
We all at the same time in a chorus.
Yeah.
Like as he hears you say that, he leaves over. That's when the second klaxon's blaring. Like,
Yep, men make mistakes. Okay, keep going.
Still fucking up. But then you hear them like as a chorus all at once say like, "You are a man," and it's like, "Fuck," and then he like.
I looked to Bradford. Also Bradford. Bradford is also a
Welcome.
man, as well
I
as
love
Shaynene94. Welcome, Shaynene. Thule Adventure. Sir, a gentleman and a scholar. Thanks for following. And welcome.
All right,
Importantly, a
so
gentle man.
you do well,
Gentleman.
maybe you do succeed, and these pods start to unseal themselves. So first, you hear a series of like hisses as a bunch of pressure starts to drain from outside of like the very tight seal that Maximus identified. Only 7 of these pods are releasing pressure, though all of them seem to be like in this mode of activating. So you notice that the 3 pods Hextus that like were kind of off, they don't have any pressure to drain. So something was funky with whatever, however these things were supposed to work. Shenene is a ledede.
Lede.
Shenene. So yeah, these pods start to open up, and you guys see, I'll just push you the handout so you can see what they look like, but they're lying down, they're covered in fluid that is now starting to drain. They're plugged in matrix style, like 9 plugs down their back, which start to slowly like pop off one at a time. But you see 7 regal Calramites. They are dressed in robes similar to this. All 7 of them are female. As far as you can tell, they do seem to have 2 sets of breasts, which is kind of strange. You don't understand anatomy. Not quite a total recall thing, but anyway, so they're
Delamere's all about it.
Down to that.
female,
So do I.
best as you can tell.
Dance around with this pudge.
But again, they're just waking up. These like tubes have come out of the back of their neck, and they all sort of sit up in unison.
Did the other 3 open up?
The other 3 pods opened. There are Calramites in there that are not sitting up.
Okay.
I bow to the nearest one. Very robotically. My name is Seto
Do they all
Yeshua.
look identical?
They look very, very similar. They're wearing the same kind of robe.
Yeah, I bow and say,
they-
my
they
name
have distinctions, but not the
Delamere, they all look the same.
My name is Seto Yeshua, servant of the Dragon Emperor.
They don't initially respond. They've just sort of sat up. They look around to one another. They all, at the same time, look at each of the pods without a Calramite sitting up. Back and forth, 1, 2, 3, looking at the same one at the same time. And they all say in unison, "We are the 7 now."
Welcome. Welcome, 7 of you, to Calran. This here is Delamere. This is Maximus. And this is a man, Hextus. And this here...
As, you say, as Seto says that, Exus leans on the keyboard and like looks over, and then the klaxon again.
We are here to gain your help.
You have awoken us at last.
Yes, good morning.
Sorry we hit the snooze button twice.
A bit groggy.
So again, this is super spooky because they're sitting up, like they're in a circle around all of you, and they're all speaking at once. So you're not really sure. Like Seto's addressing one of them, but they're all talking at the same time.
Maybe we should get them some coffee.
What's fucking coffee? Yeah, so they respond, again repeating sort of the same thing, but thanking you. So they say, "Thank you, our saviors. You have saved our people."
You are welcome. But we need your help to save our people, too.
What do we save you from?
We were sleeping,
That's a danger.
could not wake. Our vessel was running out of power.
It's like Tim Curry has been like he's smoked like smoked a 50-pack like every day for his life.
I sort of like try and approach, but realize they're all around me, and no one's sort of like taken the fourth round. So I'm like, listen, beings of unforetold power, and I don't know, I'm not really good at the flamboyant sort of la-di-da bits. I generally leave that to Seto. But basically, you have a fucking colony living on your ship of people who have no fucking idea what you are. And there's currently this big room, sort of like a mural that goes around your wall, which is very pretty, by the way. But it seems to entail that we're all kind of gonna get fucked. So, you know, I kind of... be great if you could help us out, and that'd just be jolly fantastic, because, you know, we did wake you up, you had quite a lay-in, and we've only got a matter of weeks to sort it all out. And I'm talking very fast because I'm panicking, because I wasn't prepped for this, and I've generally seen a lot of films where this goes really badly for the person who does the first contact. So I'm and then, like, Maximus starts hyperventilating, which is odd, because Maximus doesn't need to breathe, so he's not really sure what's going on. But it's just...
Maximus, you are a metal.
You are a metal.
you are a meta. He's like, oh yeah. he calms instantly. He's like, oh yeah.
Calramites, what can we call you?
They're going to sort of rise, and you're going to realize that what looks like it was just like one arm, you know, roughly humanoid, because they had their like 10 arms each on each side, like stuck together. So they just had weird, like, bumpy looking arms, like they had like ridges on them. They expand out and they all kind of stretch in like a flowery way, as these like regal women like extend all of their tentacle arms and like walk forward, and they're all just walking towards the central terminal. So they kind of ignore your first gestures of questions. They all sort of rise out of their pods, walk towards the center, and start like typing wildly, again 10 arms each in a circle around this central terminal, like kind of muttering a little bit back and forth to one another as they're like tap, 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 tap.
Hextus, what is happening?
I don't know.
I lean towards Seto and I just say, did you ever see Independence Day? Because literally this what happens. It was smoke, and then they started. If they start talking through Hextus, we're all dead.
Are they machines?
I don't think so.
Then we can trust them.
Yeah.
Calramites, are you, what are you doing? I step closer.
They're all going to speak again in unison, but none of them are going to look at you. They're all focused on their terminal. The screens are doing a whole lot of stuff. Mike will say, like, you managed to get like a little bit of projection on these like 3D screens to
So if there's like 10 positions on this thing, he has taken one of the empty 3 and he's just kind of going through the motions that they're doing. Seeing what it does. Like, so he's like, oh, you did the Control Alt Delete. Okay.
Oh, you're doing that one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's doing his best to mimic whatever they're doing.
I've only got 2s. Like, how do you hold, like, because they're doing like Control Alt Shift 3 7.
I only have 2 arms to your 7, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Cool. So you're like standing there. One of them will say just like, and then just keeps doing what it's doing. It like sees you, doesn't know what the fuck, but like doesn't really care. But they're like this whole central terminal like comes to life and fills most of the room with like 3D projections. So like you were only barely getting this computer to do stuff as they've got like a whole bunch of 3D shit going. It mostly seems like some kind of astral map. And they're like tracking and plotting and doing a bunch of weird stuff. Like it seems like they're looking for things in the sky. At one point, like a light catches something and then it gets brought towards the terminal and then they start looking for the next one. This goes on for a couple minutes and they completely ignore you until finally they sort of stop and they've got a rough sort of astral map of your solar system. Again, that's not something you'd be familiar with as far as what it would look like, but you do see sort of Earth roughly in the center. And there are these 10 points that are equidistant from one another and same distance from Earth that are coming towards Earth. And then all these creatures are going to just turn so they're all facing outwards. So like there's one to face each of you wherever you are.
How many equestrians apart are they?
They're like the same distance apart. Actually, make an intelligence check and you can get a sense of like how many days roughly.
I meant how many horses?
Oh, these horses are a little bigger. Probably like 2 or 3 fucks, I would say. Yeah.
All right.
So these creatures turn to face outwards, and then they finally address you again, and they say,
"You were right. The time is very near now."
Yes, we know. Can you help us stop this from happening?
Stop the ascension.
Yeah, what is it?
Yes.
What is it gonna happen?
Sounds like they've planned an elevator or something, like a big. Is that what's going on here?
No, they already have the ladder. We don't need any more of that.
Fuck, you're right.
But what's gonna happen? What is this thing we keep alluding to that you probably know?
The 10 great powers will arrive again to your planet, as they always do. And your planet will fight for these powers until nothing is left.
Can you help us win this fight? We came to you seeking your help.
Oh, no. Hold on. You're saying that what exactly are these powers? Are they something we have to fight, or are they treasure, something to fight for?
You would call them gods, but they are unformed.
Don't presume to know my religious beliefs, okay? Listen, I need to know, like, are they physical things? How big are they in elephants? Like, what can we find them, and what can we do stuff with them? What exactly are they?
They are an essence. They
Oh,
will litter your planet.
Like the shampoo.
They will litter your planet with seeds. Those who gather the seeds
oh,
will attain the power of these gods.
I once
So we
heard
need to
that
get
wetness. That water was the essence of wetness. Wetness was the essence of beauty. Maybe that's a.
Can you get us back to the ninth world? That is one of our other objectives, is returning home to the ninth world.
Yes, we have reserve powers in our vessel. We could send you in a pod, but I fear there's not enough power to fuel it for the journey.
hold on.
Generator.
Yeah,
Yes.
but wait. If the whole ninth world is going to be destroyed, why do you want to be on it?
Because we can protect it and save it. Maximus has a
Can you?
thought.
And I look over to the he looks over to the Calramites and he says, "Can they?"
I like bow and say, my name is Seto Yashuan. Maximus, you have an idea.
Actually,
As if
I've
that
just
was an
remembered
answer.
something. It's just like, it's Yashuan, and I'm not here to provide any ideas. I am here to kill stuff.
I mean, this isn't my strong suit.
Yeah, that's what I like about him.
everyone wants you to be the talker, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I nod and I'm just like, who exactly was driving this tub when you decided to have a nap? Like, you know, chill out and sleep in your. I mean, they look particularly uncomfortable. We'll get to that later. And I've got 1,000,001 questions. But right now, who's in charge of like the ship? And does the word Moss? I look towards
Mossix.
Mossack.
Malsac.
Molsack.
Ballsack.
It's
Do
a
you
mollusk,
have an
actually. It's a
AI?
mollusk.
Mollusk.
Do you have an AI?
Roll it.
We have been controlling the ship in our sleep. The Mozik
And they all sort of say it at once.
has infected us. We have been trying to push it out.
What is it exactly?
It is an intelligence, a sentient machine mind.
Where is it exactly?
We've confined it to the upper third of our vessel, but it grows.
Third of the vessel.
They don't emote, but yeah.
Yeah. Just like it has a third of the entire bloody vessel.
Thank you so much to Spartans who donated £7 and 86 pence. We had a bit of conversion stuff going on there. Nat 20 and or Wild Magic Surge for Mike. Hashtag make your dreams come true. Thanks so much, Spartans. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thanks so much, my friend.
Yeah, that means you don't know how Wild Magic Surge works. It never makes dreams come true.
So if you guys don't know, you can affect our game with your donations, so you can make Mike roll on the D.
No,
10,000.
no, not me. Just everyone else. It's fine.
D 10,000 Wild Magic Surge table.
It's the Mike D10,000 table.
No.
That's what it is.
Damn
You want me to look that up for you, there, Mitch? We've got it up here.
Damn it, Josh.
I will look it up. What is the number? Mike, we'll say this is the effect of you trying to use their computer in unison with them.
Damn it.
It's 3,934. I was trying to come up with like a bingo saying to go with that, but they don't go that high.
Nah, not really. But Mike, you do have a nat 20 from Spartans as well. So with one, with one hand he giveth, with the other he taketh.
You can use that nat 20 on that wild search table.
You're like a
20.
yeah.
3934.
3,934.
The face you just made is terrifying because you were like, what's 3934? What is it?
So, Mike, what I'll let you say.
Delamere. No!
Forever. I will let you say.
One of me.
Because you're trying to hack and access this terminal. You can rock a nat 20 right now and actually be able to access more now that they've like opened it and like turned it on in a bigger way. So like you can get access, you can have one question answered. So one question that Hextus has for these creatures, you can have answered by finding it, and right afterwards you're going to get zapped out as they realize that you're actually able to use this and they don't want you using it while they're using it. So what's one question that Hextus would have, or one of the questions that's been asked, but you only get one?
Oh,
Everybody gets what?
I mean, I don't want to.
How they plan to stop the ascension.
Cool. The answer to that is that they are here to win the race for the Ascension.
What is that? What does that mean?
That doesn't sound good.
They want to be ascended first.
Yeah, they want to fuck everyone else up before.
What does that mean?
No. Right. So out of character here. Like, if the race is getting all the
Mike-
seeds
Mike is
together
the only one who knows
and fucking up everyone else. So out of character. None of us know this. I'm
A generous.
Thanks so much to
I'll give that
Tabletop
down the
Twitch. He donates £5. Thanks so much, Aaron. He says, "Let's give Mike another one." Thanks so much, my friend.
God damn it! I didn't even get the first one yet.
Oh, you did. Yeah, I'll see if it's in.
So I learned this information and I get zapped out of the computer.
I'm guessing, Aaron, that is a Wild Magic Surge, right? I'm guessing that's what you mean there.
Yeah,
Not
buddy.
a nat 20. But so it's out of character. If the race for the Ascension is like getting all these seeds together, and ascending means destroying the world, then they're trying to destroy the world before anyone else can. Right?
In my head, right, I'm just going to throw out, like, this is completely out of character, obviously, but I'm just, like, asking you guys what you're thinking, but I'm thinking this happened to their planet is now gone, and they're now just hopping around to other planets where this shit is going down and trying to steal all that stuff.
What if they were just in stasis waiting for like this shit to happen, and now they wake up and it's like, great, let's destroy the world.
This is a mining ship.
Yeah.
Screw you, Mitch. We don't need the rest of your show. We've
solved it. Solved the plot.
We did it.
I'm gonna ad lib the rest of it, guys.
Well, like, okay, so here's the thing, like, from like a more, like, the machine stuff, they are obviously, like, they seem evil, but, like, at the same time we spoke to them, and they don't give a shit about our world, really, right? Because the Mozic are like, oh, basically, we do destroy planets, but we want to get the fuck out of here, so we don't care about your planets. But the Calramites are like, yeah, we're fucking chill, but in real life, they want to fuck up our planet. So, like, it's a choice between, like, people who are going to go out there and destroy loads of planets, or people who are going to just destroy our planet.
Sounds like a myth. Oh my god, I did it. Sounds like a Mitch decision.
Oh, you.
Wild magic surge for Mythomatic. No.
There we go. So, Mike, you rolled on your wild magic table 1, 7, 5, 6.
Well, you guys were debating all of the wrong shit. I looked it up. So
yeah, you say that now.
I just looked up the new one.
So Mike, I'm gonna tweak this. So sometimes we get one that like it's kind of okay, but one nearby is really, really good for the scenario. So we'll like bump it. You guys don't care which number on the 10,000 between the ones. We just want to make sure it's cool, so your donation's worth it. So I'm gonna take the one right below it. Mike, as you get zapped to the computer, two things happen. One, you feel like a physical zap that affects your flesh. So your skin like takes on a kind of like sallow, like yellowish kind of tone. Sure. And it's like, it's kind of sickly. It doesn't, after a minute, it doesn't really feel different. But it's like your skin now is something's going on with your skin and you're not really sure. Nothing physical happens to you yet. It's triggered at a later time, but your skin now does things differently than other people's skin, which we'll see. Maybe
your skin
maybe
does things differently than other people's skin. It's not a good sense.
You were a man.
You were a man.
While you get zapped, you are also going to remember. So for chat here, I'll describe this. Wild Magic Surge describes that the individual thinks or remembers a deeply mystical experience they had as a child. And now this is why I love chat interventions in the games, because it's actually super cool. I can tie this like really intimately into what the players are realizing right now. So Mike, Hexus was born on Calram. You are constantly interacting with or very close to around the Calramites who communicate telepathically with one another. So it's not weird that folks on Calram would have strange dreams. So you will remember when you're getting shocked, you're going to see like a flash of this memory that you had as a kid. And you're going to see it on the screen. So like whatever this memory was that you had by accident because of being on Calram is directly related to what you guys are talking about. So this race to ascend is intimately linked or tied to this dream you used to have when you were a kid. And it was the dream you thought nothing of it. It was the dream of you being on the ninth world. You know, you were born on Calram, you wanted to be on the ninth world, but for whatever reason, when you were on the ninth world in this dream, you were some kind of like superhero. So just describe what would like a dream be of, like, you know, every kid has the dream where they just like have like superpowers or like just crazy, absurd, heroic shit, like playing D&D 100 plus hours a month.
Yeah.
What would Hexus's childhood dream be of just being like the coolest dude ever on the ninth world?
Yeah, basically, so since he only ever heard stories of the ninth world from the Aeon priests, and secondhand stories from random people that had accidentally ascended, everything he knows about the ninth world is very piecemealed, and so if he were a superhero on the ninth world, his abilities would be to form the ninth world. So like the vision is just him like kind of floating through like the air, I guess, and like reshaping things as like things that make more sense to him.
Cool. So you're going to remember that dream, and there's a split second where it's like, oh yeah, this is just the dream I have. But then you realize in the moment of that flash, that electric surge, that you're actually seeing that dream as part of this narrative somehow. This narrative of ascension on the ninth world with these seeds that fall, these god seeds, whatever they are. This race that the Calramites are here to win.
Can your superhero name be the Iron Wind? And you just like move across the land, reshaping it in a way that
absolutely can be that.
That's amazing.
Full circle, guys.
Yeah.
This is the Iron Wind.
Confirmed. It's canon now.
Yep.
Cool. So you get zapped away, have this weird experience, got this new information. The Calramites are not here to stop, but to win the race of these seeds that are going to be sown on Earth that signal the coming of the end of civilization. and you have this weird association with your childhood memory. What was the last thing that somebody else asked? Because we've been fucking with Mike for a minute here.
That's what we tend to.
Slowly trying to kill my character.
Yeah.
Literally made your dreams come true. Absolutely Spartan.
Yeah.
Killer donation.
Yeah, nailed it. I guess Seto's just like concerned about what they're doing, really.
Yeah, so they've told you they can get you an escape pod back to Earth. They can't give it enough power for it to land properly. They haven't given you an indication of like what that's going to look like. We'll say at this point that one of them will say, or no, they all speak at once. They'll all say, "You will have to be charted to the sea. It is the only safe landing with the power we have left to send you."
That sounds good. Delamere, Hextus, Maximus, let's see.
I sink.
We will swim.
I will sink.
You can swim. Swimming, I turn to you, I say, swimming is when you move through water. You do not allow yourself to sink. And I like smile, I'm like, your series is very clever. Man, he starts to make motions like this, and you can propel your body through the water and not sink.
Another award-winning lesson from the school of Seto Hashim.
But you look like you might be some kind of waterborne creature. Therefore, I surmise that water might be your natural habitat.
Hey, you know what? Maybe.
Like
Pretty sure I'm gonna sink.
Spartan says £10, 2 net ones for Mitch to use against the party. Gotta give a hammer or two to throw down. Oh,
Nice.
damn.
Damn.
Damn. Thanks so much, Spartan. It's very generous, my friend.
Damn, son, where did you find this?
Thank you. We may not get to both of them in the next 4 minutes, but I'm putting them in my campaign notes. So definitely tune in next week, as there's going to be some important roles.
So as you guys are discussing swimming and its mechanics, I assume that Hexus was like blast away from his computer, and like he hits like one of the pods, and so he's sort of coming to as you guys are talking about this, and he scrambles up and looks very like Doc Brown, and he's like, "You can't
Go, Marty.
You can't go back. It's about your kids, Marty."
7.2 gigawatts. Sorry.
He's like, you can't go back. There's no defeating them.
Defeating who?
You cannot win this race.
We're not trying to win the race, we're trying to stop it, Extus.
No, you can't stop the race.
What is a race? This race.
It happens, and then he like points.
You are a man. You are a race.
You're a man, not a race. He points around the room to like the
men
massive
are a
Calram
race.
plate. Yes, he points to the massive Calram plate, and he says they rebuild it every time. You can't stop it.
In response to that, the 7 of these Calramites queens are going to respond.
You have awoken us when the Mazik prevented it. We will allow you to join the race against us, to take your part, your chance at ascension.
And then Hexus looks over at them and says, "What if we help you?"
There is only ever one winner of the race. The gods are fated to devour one another.
So it's a race war.
Then, as Seta looks to the camera, I say, "The race is on."
Fade to black.
Fall into the floor, yeah.
Plummets back down to Earth.
Well, no, if you're in space and you've got your jets, so
Yeah.
that might be a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Actually, do some plugs.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys for watching today's episode of Enter the Ninth World Series 2. episode 4. So what did you guys in chat think? Did you enjoy tonight's session? Let us know your thoughts on tonight's session. And of course, if you did enjoy tonight's session, then be sure to hit that follow button and join us. Best way to keep up all of our shows. The music which we'll be playing here on our kind of outro sequence is the Tales from the Halfling Camp Kickstarter, exclamation point Tales. You can go and have a listen to these guys. They're little, they're 2 of them actually, producing different halfling based tracks that we'll give a listen to now. So, Myth, you do things on the internet, right?
I do. I'll be doing things on the internet in about an hour or so on my own channel. I'll be doing some ARC roleplay. Yeah, check me out. I got some things I think working in the back of my mind for other shows as well. Also a creator of a card game. I'll actually drop the link. It's called Warlock. Just getting started the fundraising process for the Kickstarter later. We got to get art for cards. So check that out. But yeah, I'll be around. I'm always here, and I'm always on Twitch. So check me out, and we can
have fun times. Have fun times. Mike, exclamation point Eeyore is in effect. Tell us.
Excited. Can't wait.
Point here.
There we go. It's in chat.
I do things on the internet. However, I'm not nearly as sad as I am on this channel. But yeah, like I said earlier, I am the shittier version and more American version of Encounter Roleplay. So come hang out. We do more D&D stuff.
Indeed they do. So tomorrow we're going to be back with Dark Heresy starting at 1 PM EDT, 6 PM BST, and then we've got Josh running the Pirates of Cold Harbor, 3 hours after that, 4 PM EDT, 9 PM at BST. We'll be here throughout the week, guys, so I hope you enjoyed today's show. Again, a huge shout out to everyone who donated, thanks to the Tabletop Twitch and to Spartans282 for your donations, really generous, my friends, as well as Justin Decerus, Stephen Riddle and Beth Kirkham for your pledges on Patreon. You guys are awesome. So until next time, everybody, try not to get yourself stuck in tubes where you have to lubricate yourself to get out. Try not to find yourself on a rotating pole of death, because that is pretty dangerous sometimes. And of course, until next time, everybody, try not to roll too many nat ones, because we're going to be here laughing.